Okay, let's see. This thing work. There we go. Hello, radio. KB2ZVP.
Is that the real ZVP?
Well, it's one of them. I know that. I'm the real KB2ZVP. I'm not sure about the other one.
Do you have any idea how quiet the band is right now?
No, Mark. My radio's off. I have no idea.
It's scary how quiet it is down here. I thought maybe my radio blew up or something, like I ruined my front end.
Yeah, it's quiet here. It's an S2. The noise level's an S2. It's bouncing between 1 and 2, but the peak is about 2.
I don't even have that. It sits right at 0.
Stand by a second. Who's that trying to get in there? Go again?
That's the Cormer from 3868. He was just down there. Now he's up here. King 83UWN.
Okay, well, whatever. He's not able to produce a good signal. That's why nobody can hear him. So he can do whatever he wants to do, and we'll just not acknowledge him, okay? What we got going on? Fire trucks going by the house. At least they're not stopping here. That's good. So, Marcus, how was your day today?
Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. Oh, my day today was, I got in the pool. I was busy cleaning the pool out of the bottom, sucking the garbage off the bottom and getting it on its final cleaning, and did some weeding in the garden today. And what else did we do today? Anything else useful? Not a lot.
I had a busy day today. Well, I just came inside. I just got out of the shower. I was out there working on the antenna project, getting more of that done.
So you say you're going up 300 foot with a loop?
Yeah. I'm gonna, Mark. I'm going to try to get as close to 300 feet as I can.
Now that would be impressive. And kind of dangerous.
Well, it'd be just take 4 towers or 3 towers, and you could do it. It just takes some money.
And a tower that high, enough of them, you could have phased loops.
Yeah, you can. There's the sky's the limit, right? Where do you stop? But you know how it goes. Just how much effort and what's it worth to do it? I mean, if I had a lot of money, a lot of money, just money I didn't need for anything, didn't worry about retirement kind of money, why I would do something like that. But I don't. So I don't. It's beyond my means.
You're planning to retire?
Yeah, shortly actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a few years I'm hoping to. At least, see, my retirement plan isn't sitting back and going to Monaco or going to the beach or something. My retirement plan is just going out to my shop and work there and help my son and build things for people and make money that way.
I thought you and Ray were going to go to Belize.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest.
You'd live like a king down there.
Yeah, I'm sure we could. Stand by 1 second. I got a quick phone call. KB2ZVP.
And this is N3 Oramo.
Okay. How's the how's my audio here right now? This setting, is it A-okay?
Well, I can't really give you a report on that until you get angry at somebody.
Well, I'm not going to do that tonight. I refuse.
Now, you've been getting pretty close past couple nights.
Yeah, I gotta settle back down. I get myself wound up sometimes because I don't suffer idiots well. You know what I mean? So I'm not a brilliant guy at all. I mean, not even close. I make concrete blocks for a living. So, but I'm not stupid. You know, and there's sometimes people. I guess it's just everybody once in a while does something stupid, right? But there's some people that are just stupid.
You know, Randy, the world is absolutely filled with stupid people.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that aren't educated and all that, but and I'm not talking about that kind of stupid. I'm talking about not even any common sense stupid, you know. I mean, just doing and saying, and then when they say something, it's just, it's explained to them nicely how dumb it was, what they said, and then they want to battle, whatever. I don't want to talk about it. I shouldn't even have brought it up, but I will. This is going to be the gentler, more kind Randy again. I don't know what it is. Just lately, I've been. I'll be honest with you. A lot of it had to do with that company that was being auctioned off. I'm happy that that's finally behind me now.
Yeah, there's a difference between stupid and ignorant. There are lots of ignorant people in the world, and there are also lots of stupid, ignorant people in the world. But, anywho, yes, well, I understand, you know, you come to a familiar group of individuals that you consider close friends, and you can just vent. And, we always abuse the ones that we're comfortable with because we know they will always be there. Until they're not.
Yeah, I got something here. KD2PGZ. I've got notes here. Boy, oh boy, I forgot why I have all these stars. I wonder if I was supposed to send him a T-shirt or something. I think so. I don't think so. I think we were talking about, it's antenna. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, I got it. I think I've got notes on his call sign. He wanted information about Toad Harbor feed line. I was going to send him a video.
Oh, that's what else I did today. I actually trimmed back the kiwi vine. It was wrapping around my northwest element on my 40-60 meter directional array. It was getting pretty thick, so I knew I had to trim it back. I was just waiting for the appropriate time, and this afternoon, before I got to cleaning the pool and got in the pool, the water was just a little bit cooler than I would have liked, but it was tolerable, so we were schlepping around in it there with the hose and sucking the goo off the bottom and the sides and, pool maintenance. But, I had to trim the old kiwi, and then I was thinking about adding some more size to the kiwi trellis, because, Randy, this thing is, if I would let it, this vine would take over this entire property.
And you're growing kiwis on it?
Yes, there are kiwis out there on it right now. They're about half an inch.
Oh, cool.
They never quite get past an inch because something eats them all off or they fall off. I don't know what happens to them. I think it's the birds, personally. They get in there and they just, I can't see how they could be any good, not right. But every year I get 10,000 of these things on there, and about the time they get to be about maybe 3/4 to an inch, they all disappear.
That's why they build them under netted enclosures. The birds get to them. KD3CWN.
Okay, so there's someone that obviously knows what I'm talking about, and I had considered netting it, but to get a net that size, good Lord and a quarter. I'm going to have to call Omar the tent maker.
I know some of his customers.
Yeah, it is big. It is literally, easily 16 foot tall by 20 foot long by, to 16 foot wide, and you can walk underneath of it because it's got like a canopy that I built, like a bridgey thing that it grew up over, and you can walk underneath of it. You can actually put a little table under there and it'd be shaded, but there's two of them, male-female plant. Obviously, you have to have that for kiwi, but the trunks on these vines are like 4 inches thick.
Wow, they've been there a while.
Going on year number 8? Is it 8 years now, I think? Yes, it is very healthy. It loves that spot, and it grew very, very well. And unfortunately, because of where I put the northwest element for the tri-directional ray off the wind turbine tower, it likes to grab that element and start climbing up it.
Maybe you can transmit off with some kiwi.
I have done it. After so many days of it wrapping around, 3 or 4 vines get on it, and it starts wrapping up. You get about 4 or 5 foot of it with a vine wrapped around it, and it starts changing the match point on that element. And I transmit on there. I can do full boogie on there, like 1,000 watts, and the vines don't seem to care.
Do the kiwis grow bigger on those particular vines?
Nope, the kiwis are ill-affected, unaffected, not affected by any amount of RF that I blow through that system.
Well, I guess the next question is, do you eat the kiwis?
If they would get big enough and become ripe, that was the goal.
Well, just try to, yeah, right. Take a small area and try to cover it up so the birds can't get around into it. More than anything, just set up a plastic owl out there. That'll deter them from until they figure out it's plastic.
Dude, I got a wind turbine out there that's on a 35-foot tower that sits there and spins all day long and flutters in the wind. Them birds don't care about no plastic owl. They'll poop on it.
Yeah, the turbine's he's not an aggressor to them, whereas the owl is. Until they figure out it's plastic, they'll fear it somewhat.
Yeah, I got educated down here in the hood, man. They know all the tactics. That ain't gonna wash. I'd have to pay some little Mexican to stand out there in my garden all day long, shooing everything away if I wanted to get anything productive.
Hey, that's what you got to get from them, I forgot what they're called now, but they blow up. The vertical things that blow up and fall over them. What the heck are they called?
A bird banger.
Is that a trademark title?
I don't know. We used to use them at the farm all the time. They have a propane tank attached to them and a timer. And every once in a while you'll hear them charge, and then all of a sudden, bang, they blast off. You know, a lot of places use them.
Right. That's an excellent idea right down here in town. You know how many SWAT teams would have this whole corner cordoned off? I'd be down on the ground with my hands behind my back, and they'd be carrying me out straddled.
Well, it'd be an experience anyway. You couldn't say you hadn't had, or you couldn't say it would be a new experience for you.
No, it wouldn't. It's already been and done that.
I won't even ask.
Please don't. Yes, the birds are particularly aggressive this year. They've been working over the mulberry trees like crazy because they're coming in like crazy, and all the fruit trees produced really good this year because we had a beautiful spring and all the blossoms got to do their thing, and all the bees were out at the right temperature doing their thing, and I had some cherries off my cherry tree this morning for breakfast, as well as strawberries out of the strawberry patch, and yeah, it was kind of cool this year. Last year was a washout. We didn't get nothing.
Yeah, we planted a lot of fruit stuff, grapes and black and raspberries and blueberry bushes and like that. We planted a lot more this year. Hopefully they'll do okay. We've certainly have had a lot of rain to get them started right.
Yes, we did have a lot of rain, and it was starting to become a bit too much because what happens is the molds and the funguses start taking out on the trees and start getting them spots on the apple leaves and tears the peach trees all up. And yeah, but then it cooled down, and we actually need some rain now. But we're going to get plenty of that here tomorrow and Monday, more than probably we need. But yeah, on to a different note. The concrete posts I put in the corners for the mast on the far end for the loop have fully cured at this point and are working very, very well.
What concrete post? I'm trying to think. I don't recall that.
Well, you know, you've been so busy working all these other stations asking 15,000 questions. I get so little time to rant to you, so I didn't get to tell you. On the far end of the loop down there, towards the uncle's side of the property, I had steel masts that hold that end of the loop up. Well, they were mounted into the corner on the fence there. Well, we're redoing the fence and taking the old fence out and putting new fence posts in, and all that old fence has got to go. So I had to take the pole or the mast off of the fence and use some other anchor point. Well, I had to make anchor points down in the ground and concrete with rebar and a 2-inch electrical steel conduit and filled it with concrete and rebar, and had to let that all sit and cure, and then move the mast over to that, and that all worked out pretty well.
Yeah, terrific. That sounds good. I'm hoping to get up early tomorrow morning and pour this concrete that I've got to pour. I tried to get it done today. Just, what the heck? Yeah, there's something going on down there. There's a cop going down now, and he is not wasting any time. So anyway, down at the end of the road is Toad Harbor, right, the harbor itself, and there's a lot of partiers down there and like that. They have a lot of campers, and they have a little beach and like that. So there's probably something happened down there. Maybe somebody stepped on a pop top. I don't know. But anyway, I was trying to get the concrete poured today, but didn't have enough time. Ran out of time. I was just going to start and realized it was already 7 o'clock. So thought, well, I'll be out here till 10 o'clock, and I don't really want to do it. So I'll start tomorrow morning and do it.
Good evening, Gary. How much concrete are we talking about, and what's it for? I vaguely caught a little bit of what your project was.
Well, it's not a lot. It's just I'm building tilt-ups so I can get the loop up in the air. So I've got some half-inch plate and some 1-inch, threaded rod, galvanized threaded rod, and it's from a precast company that I'm friends with. And I'm pouring a pad out there with some holes in the ground, and I'm tilting up a pole. I've got probably going to do 3, but right now I've got one. I'm building one prototype, and when that works real well, I've got the materials to build the rest of them. I want to do the one just to make sure that my idea doesn't have to have any modifications, and once that's up, I'll do the other ones.
Oh, okay. Yeah, basically you're doing the same thing I did, except yours are going to be tilt over. Very good. Well, always moving forward and moving up. Evening, Gary. Come on in.
That sounds like a lot of fun. How far do you have to swim to be able to pass that test? Is it like an endurance thing, or float for 2 hours, or what do you got to do? What's the test like? Oh, okay. That's not so bad then. I think I could probably manage that. I used to be able to manage it quite well, but, I don't know. I haven't had to try to water for 10 minutes in a long time, thankfully.
Well, we just want to make sure that people that you can't get on the boats without being able to show you pass these tests because they don't want somebody else being a victim. Now, of course, you'll be wearing your personal flotation device, but they just want to make sure you get some level.
AB1OU.
AB1OU. How are you tonight?
Pretty good. I haven't talked to you guys for a while. Bands haven't been that great, so and I think I've told you before, I'm not really set up for 160, so hopefully you can hear me okay.
Yeah, you're doing a great job to me. You guys hearing Michael okay?
Oh, yeah. I hear Mike, no problem. Hey, Mike. Gary, that's C3.
Yeah, hey, I meant to thank you. You actually did me a favor by canceling, because it actually cost more to cancel the rental car than it was just to take it. So me and my buddy took the rental car and went and shot pool while the wives went shopping, so we escaped and we had fun.
Okay, yeah, I didn't realize it was Memorial Day. My wife would make plans. We actually took a boat trip up to Washington. It's 70 miles from here. By boat takes about 2 hours, so she had made plans with her neighbors to go there for lunch, so that's what we ended up doing.
Now, like I said, it worked out great for us, so I owe you kudos for that one.
Randy, Mike is buying as property and building a house down here in the county that I live in.
Oh, okay, real good. Yeah, well, he's doing a great job. Mike, are you in Connecticut now?
Yeah, still stuck in Connecticut, and like I said, it's been a while since I talked, but yeah, I'm only running a 200 watts into a 40-foot Brickle, so that's why I always ask if you guys can hear me.
Well, it's a very quiet band tonight, and you're 10 over S9, so I can hear you without any difficulty at all. You sound like you're running a kilowatt,
Yeah, that's kind of the idea. I really don't like running a lot of power just because of all the overhead. And so far it's worked pretty good. So although when I get down south it's going to be a different story. Because up right here I'm sitting up on a ridge line at 500 feet. When I go down there I'm going to be 14 feet above sea level, surrounded by 100-foot trees. So it's going to be a whole different ball game.
Yeah, you have my problem.
No, there's no difficulty. I mean, it's no for HF. It means nothing being up on the hill. It just doesn't matter. And look at Gary's signal. I mean, he's down there and he's not running an elaborate, mountaintop location with beams or any of that stuff or big antennas. He's running inverted L's and he's 10 over S9. And he's it's just build it right. That's all. Just build it right and it'll work fine.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen his antenna setup, but he's put a lot of effort into that antenna, or I should say his antennas.
Oh, we know. We can see the signal.
Yeah, it's like I said, build it right. It's all about the effort right there. It's not on these bands. It's not about the price you pay. It's about the effort you put into it.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. I mean, we actually did a little test where I went down to 5 watts on 160, and he still heard me loud and clear.
Go down to 5 watts. Yeah, I got an S3 noise level, 2 to 3 noise level right now. Your S5 with no trouble.
And I hear you on the log.
I don't know, Gary, can you hear me?
Gary, can you get Mike?
All right, you guys get gold stars. Gary doesn't.
Not that long yet.
Yeah, it's still really sunny. I mean, it's not even close to being, it's not even dusk. it's broad daylight out there.
You were already touching 15 over 9 on the log early, Randy, here.
I am running the big yap tonight.
Ooh, yeah, I'm surprised Gary's big, too, for his distance. This early in the night, I think we're going to have a really good night on the band.
I don't know where he is. I think he may have gone to dinner.
With a girlfriend?
It's a moot point to do the test because he is nowhere close to you, Randy, so it would not be a good test.
I know that he does not like to hear that either, because he put up he put a lot of effort into an antenna recently to get it to work better, and I don't think that turns him on too well when you say he's not as strong as me. I think he was really hoping to be stronger, and I would like it to be better too. I mean, I'm going to make improvements here, but I feel bad because he put a big effort into raising up those other elements.
He really should put himself a loop up, but he keeps making excuses why he can't do it.
Well, it's a difficult location because he's on the side of a hill right in the forest, so it would be difficult. I would do it. If it were me, I would, after running loop that I run and how well it works, I would do it. I'd figure out a way, even if I had to, rent something. The thing is, he can't even cut down trees in his neighborhood without, the neighborhood watch turning them in. So it's not easy where he is.
Does he own the trees that he'd be going through?
Yeah. But you can't cut down trees in his neighborhood without permits and good reasons why.
He doesn't need to cut them down. He needs to use them as supports.
No, he'd have to get the trees cut down so he can get up through them. They're very, very thick. It's a forest,
There's a will, there's a way.
Yep, I agree. I totally agree with that.
Well, that's what I'm going to be faced with when I move down south. But I actually told the wife, because of that, I'm going to have to buy a drone so I can run some lines across the top of the trees and pull some wires up there.
I was watching a guy had strapped a whole bunch of drones together and on a frame, and he was raising himself up and down with this thing. And I thought to myself, wow, if you could put a 50-pound roll of wire on your lap, we could have a job for you.
Yeah, he was on a lawn chair. That was like, 72 drones?
Yo.
Yeah, down here in Pamlico County, he knows it's 0 feet on up is all controlled by Cherry Point. So any flight, no matter how high, you got to call Cherry Point Tower to get permission anytime. NC30.
Maybe one of you. Yeah, that's no problem. Like I said, I'm used to working with air traffic control and all that. But I just thought that'd be an easy way to do it. Get a drone that could, drag a heavy fishing line, because these are 100-foot tall trees on a 300-foot lot. So I could draw like 300 feet of fishing line across the top of the trees, go on the other end, and just pull the wire across the top of the trees.
And 3 or more.
KB2 ZVP at the top.
I think you will find by doing that it's going to be a bit more of challenging than you expect.
Yeah, well, it always is. That's what makes it fun, right?
The contact, go ahead.
Whiskey Alpha 2, Foxtrot, Oscar, November, portable, in Hamilton County, New York.
Okay, WA2FON in Hamilton County. Good to work in. Nice signal here into Toad Harbor.
Good evening, gentlemen. WA2FON. Yeah, I'm in my campsite here in the Moose River Plains between Inlet and Indian Lake. We just had the Black Slide Challenge mountain bike race through the backwoods of the forest here. And I'm in my campsite now relaxing. I put up the coil-loaded 160 dipole here. It's at about, 25 feet. In the forest, by the way. Yes, where there is coil, there's a way. I brought my launcher and I shot it up. I kept it low to keep it under the tree limbs so it's easy to put up and take down. Other times, last year when I was here, I put a full half wave up here in the campsite, and I put it over some branches. So it can be done if you work hard enough at it. It took me a while. So that's what I'm doing up here. Back to you.
Okay. Okay, Mark, real good. Yeah, I don't. When I go camping and stuff like that, I don't have to bring any wire with me. I just use my mobile system, and that's all I use anymore. It's just a mobile. I go up at Indian Lake and Lake Abenaki and camp up there, and I just sit in the pickup truck.
Yeah, I'm not far from there. I'm just to the west side of Indian Lake.
Yep, I know where you're at. You guys hearing Mark okay? Anybody hearing Mark?
Mark, who, me?
No, not you, the other Mark. The Mark that I'm speaking with, the WA2FON.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, he's right at my noise level.
Yep, nothing here.
Well, Mark, I can hear you just fine, but you're not making it to Pennsylvania, Connecticut, or North Carolina, but you're making it to Toad Harbor.
Okay, just around the neighborhood. All right, guys, carry on. I'll spin the knob. I hear you guys from home quite a lot. Have fun. WA2FON portable.
Yeah, your neighbor's in here every night. You know, Carl, WG2E, right?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, he's from Dwaynesburg, and then you got Stan. Stan is Stan. What the heck is Stan's call? You must know Stan. Everybody knows Stan down there.
I don't know, but they're all loud.
Yeah, okay. Okay, Mark, we'll see you later. Enjoy your camping trip, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, thanks. Have a great time, guys. WA2FON portable.
At the moment, the log is outperforming both beverages.
Is that right?
Yeah, by 4 or 5 S units.
How about at nighttime when it gets when you really need it? How's the log do?
It becomes just slight. It becomes very even with the other beverages, but the other beverages are directional, so it's kind of everything kind of comes together. The loop is omni, you know, so it doesn't matter what direction you're going because I don't have more than one.
Well, now these guys were saying that their logs were very directional, even though it was on the ground. They were saying that it was quite directional.
Now, I haven't noticed that with mine, but I think that may also have to do with a lot to have to do with the shape and the size, as well as the ground conductivity that's over.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, but they're building 30-foot squares. I don't know how hard it is to maintain, make that the same shape, but your ground conductivity probably plays in it, and also the right, balance or whatever you call it. I can't think right now, but that the thing I have all the parts here to build the isolation transformer. Actually, I should do that tonight. I should wind up one of those tonight and get it. Well, I'm just chatting here. I could do that tonight.
Yeah, isolation transformer. Yeah, I just used a regular core and 5 turns of RG58.
There's a live feed running right now. If you want to hear how your signal sounds out of North Carolina.
Ooh.
Which flavor core?
That sounds complicated for a Pennsylvania boy like myself.
I set this up originally for Ray.
Oh, in that case. What are you going to do that for Ray? Ray ain't got no technology. He's living in a cave. Poor Ray. So misunderstood.
Not really.
I was being nice. Now I'm starting to detect a little bit of lightning out there from somewhere.
Yeah, the band will get better as it gets darker, and when it gets better, well, you're going to start hearing things further away.
You're now once again back up to 15 over 9 on the log. With no preamp.
And that's what. Okay, so I guess that's pretty good. You've given me that report a few times, so I guess that's pretty good, right? I don't know how much you normally hear me on the log. Is something happening tonight where it's a lot better?
It's early. Yeah, you went high early tonight twice now. You're normally like 20, 25 over on the log.
Okay, but because it's early. Okay, that's okay.
You started out at 5 or 6.
Whiskey Golf 2 Echo.
Evening.
Hey, Carl, how are you? Hello, Mark and Randy. And let's see, who else is in there? NC3Z Gary. And, what the heck is Mark's, I can't think of his call sign. Did I look him up? I think I did. AB1OU. AB1OU. He's in there, and your neighbor was just in there. The guy that does he goes remote quite a bit. My neighbor? Yeah. What the heck is his con? I can't think tonight. I've been out in the sun all day and I'm pretty beat up. Oh boy. Fun. FON. WA2FON. WA2FON. He's in Schenectady. Okay. Yeah. You do sound kind of mellow this evening.
He's very mellow.
Yeah, I've been out in the sun, working out there, and I am. I'm just chilling. I'm grooving,
He said he's not going to tear anybody's head off tonight.
Oh, that'd be nice. Okay, so we better not mention those 3 letters that start with Q and end with P. Yeah, I was pretty decent here. I got a few things done. Worked a bunch of contacts on 6 meters, too. 40, 50 people all over the place. When you say all over the place, any DX, or is it all inside the country, or what? Oh, Echo November, Echo Lima, Echo Mike stuff, South Dakota, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Tennessee, stuff like that. However, there was some Carolina stations that were working Europeans. They were working Spain, but I didn't hear them.
Oh, there's some 6 meter activity going on right now.
It is the contest.
Oh, that's what.
Oh, that's right. I should tune my loop into 6 meters and just see what I could hear.
You don't have a dedicated 6 meter beam?
Yeah, I do. It's in the one of the mocha parlors out in the barn. Yeah, Minnesota, Wisconsin, stuff like that's coming in right now. Kilo Bravo 2 Zulu Victor Papa. And hello, Gary. WG2E.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing I forgot this morning. I was in Mobile heading to Wally World and a bunch of other places. I was doing 10-meter mobile in the morning and had all kind of contacts. Most of them were in Florida, but I was getting 5.9s, 10 over 9s. Yeah, it was fun.
I don't think I've tried this IQ antenna on 10 meters yet. I know the other one went to 10 meters with no trouble, but this one's got a little shorter coil, and I'm right up at the top around 17 meters. So I don't know if it'll get to 10 meters. I may have to put a longer whip on it to get to 10 meters.
Yeah, 10's been opening up here just about every day now for the past month or two, and it's kind of almost seeming like old time.
No, I have to go with a longer whip because what happens is it's all out of coil. So if you're all out of coil at the very, very top, then the whip on the top is your radiating element. So I would actually have to go to a longer one because there's no coil to match.
Oh, so it's all the way down against the stop. I mean, there's nothing showing.
It would be it doesn't go up and down. So the coil, the plunger inside of the high Q antenna is all the way to the top, right? At like 17, 15 meters. It just about is at the very, very top. So I know that if I want to work 10 meters, I'm going to have to lengthen the antenna just a little bit to get more radiating element above the coil.
I was thinking the other way.
Yeah, so it doesn't count. The base part of the antenna doesn't count. It's all in the coil to the top of the antenna. So if you're at the base of the coil, if you're at the bottom of the coil, that's like for 160, you're closer to the bottom. You got all that coil length, plus the radiating element, plus the cap. If you're at the very, very top, there is no coil, and you're at the base of the vertical section, and that vertical section is it's got to be matchable. And how do you match it if you don't have any more coil left? So you'd have to dink with the vertical section, You need a bigger coil. I wish I could get an 8-inch coil. I wish you could get someone that would extrude polycarbonate to 8 inches, and then I would have a bigger one.
Yeah, I was rather pleased with this 7610 when the band was loaded with signals. I could get right up next to those real strong guys and hear the real weak ones there. So worked pretty good.
Oh, that's cool. And any overload problems at all?
No, not a bit.
Now, when you were up close to that strong guy and working the real weak one, did you have your preamp on?
Yep, I had it on preamp too the whole time.
Oh, outstanding. I got the official Rob Sherwood report about the 101. That's pretty cool. You want to see it? I could send it to you.
The bottom line is?
Oh, it's a great rig. It's a great rig. They got some. They've been back and forth about this overshoot problem that the rig has with the Italian amplifiers. But I think that's. I know they have a fix for it at the factory. I'm not sure if they're going to fix other radios or not. If you want to send yours in, if you got an Italian amplifier that's being affected, but there's conversations that were sent to Randy that he sent to me that I won't repeat because it was with the Japanese people, and it was kind of on the down low on with Sherwood. But the Sherwood report addresses it somewhat. I don't know. I just don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, I've been hearing some of that convo going. Some folks that were talking about that, they say there's a physical fix for it, not a software fix.
Randy?
Yeah, Gary.
When I used back in the day when I used to have the 756 Pro 3s, I had the very first the SPE when I first came over here with one change physical class. When you just at the time, because I used to talk to Ray on 6 meters all the time, but I went through, I've had my SPE repaired 3 times because of the overshoot from the ICOM. So the SPE amps have always had this overshoot problem.
Yeah, it seems like they're really, really sensitive to any kind of overshoot like that. And I mean, the rig shouldn't have it, but it seems like those Italian amps just take a beating.
I'll drop back numbers too. It was 10, 15 years ago. I used to talk to Ray every single night from Maryland on 6 meters. Boom.
Hey, Gary.
Yes.
I got to punch out for dinner, but just curiosity, are you getting any static crashes down there?
No, if you look at the live feed, you'll see it's pretty damn dead quiet.
Yeah, good antenna system, because the lightning map shows lightning in central North Carolina, so are you using the South 30 for receive?
Oh, yeah, always. I can't go back to anything else.
Yeah, I'm going to try and figure out how to put one of those in. I don't think I have enough open real estate for it, but no, that's pretty awesome. All right, guys, I hate to punch out, but the wife says it's time for dinner, so if you guys are in later, maybe I'll catch you. If not, next time. The band's really nice. Like I said, I can tell this Pelican that spans the scope, so enjoy it while you can. We'll catch you later. Maybe one of you, I'll be clear.
I've got a phone call, MC30.
Okay, Mike. Good to talk to you again, as always, and we'll be here all night. 73.
Lots of water, lot of water going over the falls on 6 meters right now. Yeah, I got somebody down in York calling. I thought it might have been DX, but yeah, I heard the FN10, so figured, yeah.
Well, yeah, it was quite, at the beginning of the contest, it was pretty good for a couple hours, and then around dinner time, it just went away to nothing, and now everybody seems to be waking up again.
Well, the bands were in good shape all day on 10 meters, pretty much, so the solar, the numbers must be coming up.
Oh, I don't know. Aren't we like 19 days without a sunspot?
That was a couple months ago. I think we got a few of them now.
Hello, guys. KT Tootie.
Hey, Tootie.
Bob.
Hey, Bob. Hey, 20 days without a sunspot.
Hey, you know, the sun needs a break too, right?
How's Tootie doing?
Doing okay. Yeah, just puttering around and a little bit of cleanup work here today. My prior antenna, I took that down. The one that I was using as the prototype 3/8L, but it was only number, I think, 14 wire. So anyway, yeah, I got that all taken out and a few other little putter around things. Nothing too heavy. How about you? How you doing, Randy?
Oh, I'm doing good. Doing good. We got quite a bit done. I worked until close to 1 o'clock, I guess, and then came home and worked on my antenna project. I've got a triangular 36 by 36 plate that I had to grind up the edges and put some holes through it, some 1 1/4 holes with my mag drill, you know, and got that all done. And then I went down and re-drilled the holes in the ground and built the form so I can start pouring some concrete. And I put together a little mixer, so I can mix it now a little faster, and I should be good. I was going to do it tonight, but I'm just shot. I've been on that sun, you know, and that wears me right out. And so I'm going to do it tomorrow morning early.
Yeah, the sun kills me. So holes in the ground, so you must have a good-sized auger.
Yeah, I have on the back of the tractor, I got a 12-inch auger, which I put 3 4-foot deep holes in the ground, and then I've got a piece of 7/8 rebar 5 feet long, and I drove that down through the bottom of the holes in each one of the holes. So not only will it have concrete, but that'll be into the ground as well. And then I've got a 5-foot square pad on top of that, and it'll be all tied together, you know. So that'll be the base.
That ought to get her done.
Boy, I'll say.
Hey, Doc.
Evening, Doc.
Hi, guys. I just got out. Boy, and that sun is baking.
Yeah, man, I've got to go check on Maureen. She's out there planting some more stuff in the garden, so I'll be back. And my lemon water is empty here, so I got to go replenish that. I'll be back in a flash. KB2ZVP.
Jumping jack, man. See you in a while.
And 3 or more.
WA2ES. I thought I did that, but, you know, redundancy.
And WG2E. How's it going, Doc?
On the concrete with a 2-inch electrical conduit with rebar and concrete in them. I put 2 half-inch rebars, 2-foot straight
That's
down
going good.
that the pipe actually sits down over with concrete in it, and then 4 starred out about halfway down into the horizontally out at angles, and then 2 at the bottom angled, and then the concrete in that, and that seems to get it done pretty good. It don't move.
You're awesome. I was out working on my dock. I rebuilt the dock because it was getting a little scary fishing out there.
Now, is that dock named after you?
No, it has a K.
Oh. What happened to the dock that you had to rebuild it?
Oh, it's been there a long, long time, and the plywood just gave up.
I see.
The dock itself's all steel, and and there's 2x8s carriage bolted to that, and then plywood sat on top. And the plywood's been there a long time, and I fell through it in a couple of spots, so,
It's time for that decking material, that, what do you call that stuff, Trex.
Oh, yeah, but man, this
material, it'll never
I'm a poor boy.
Crack or go bad in moisture at any time. And it probably floats.
When I put a deck on the back of my house a couple of years ago, I looked at doing the Trex, and man, just the cost of the Trex decking exceeded the whole cost of all the other materials combined. So I said, you know what? When I get tired of redecking it, then I'll do it with the Trex. I mean, it lasts forever, but you just got to bite the bullet on that initial investment. JT Tootie.
Yep. Well, they got to make money from you one way or the other. They're either going to make it from you over a period of time as you replace it several times, or they're going to make it all at once.
Yeah, and I can't remember. It's not a wood product, is it? Is it a polymer or recycled? Some type of polymers? Is that what that stuff is made out of?
What it really is plastic garbage bottles and all kind of recycled stuff that's been melted down and molded into a shape of boards with the green molded into it with coloring added, and there you go.
Yeah, that's a good use of the stuff. Keeps it out of the oceans and landfills. So good on them.
They're making a killing on it.
I'm sure there's a lot of cost to reprocess and do all the stuff that they have to do, but they are sure not giving it away.
No, they're not, and it looks really good. We have several customers that we've done work for that have had decks made with that stuff, and I mean, it looks the same every time you go back. You can go back 10 years later, and it looks the same.
Yeah, I've seen it in a couple of places, and it's really, it's really, really good stuff.
I would think that the UV would tear it up being plastic, but I'm sure they put the right chemicals in there to protect it from that.
Oh, speaking of that, going back to one of the discussions that you had with Ray about what color Flex Seal to use. I was watching either the Science Channel or something. It was Science, when they have these ridiculous mysteries, what on earth, and they got these satellite photos. Anyway, reservoir in California, all of a sudden overnight it turned black, so they have to make a 30-minute show out of trying to figure out. Anyway, rather than just driving out there and looking at it. So they finally do this for a whole mystery, doing all these conspiracy and Loch Ness monster theories. Anyway, they go out there, and what they are black, about 8-inch in diameter, black plastic spheres that they covered the lake with to prevent, limit evaporation. And the reason they use black is it's the most UV resistant.
There you go.
I'll tell you one thing, man, that plastic board stuff is slipperier than, oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah, you actually have to put some kind of non-stick, if you're going to make for a dock or something like that, you'd have to glue down some non-stick stuff, yeah.
I got black wire ties on my towers. They've been out there over 20 years.
That sounds about right. I've always had good luck with black and UV, and, you walk in the woods and you see like a milk or a drink container that's, not colored, and after a few years or some time that's been out there, it almost turns into, brittle powder, and it just splinters. How you doing, Carl?
Not bad. All is well.
All is good in the Tootie Hood.
You got a great signal here tonight, Mark, so whatever the sunspots are doing or not, and your antenna and everything's working great.
Yep, I'm hearing you on the log, and you're doing a whopping 5 S units, but my noise floor is 0.
Hey, that's a big win.
Yeah, I listened to you on the transmit antenna, and you're about 5 to 10 over 9, but the noise floor is at 5 or 10 over 9.
Yeah, it was, I think I was listening one night when Ray was just having trouble buying into the receiving antenna to speak, and the whole premise of it is you bring your noise floor down. Yeah, the signals come down, but you bring the noise floor way down so you can actually hear. It's that delta, but I wasn't going to get into it.
Yeah, it's much more comfortable on your ears too.
The whole concept, and it's not about it's not about making a stronger signal. It's about getting rid of the noise, so that the signal that's there is so much more copyable, and it's so much nicer to listen to the band too. If you have a whole group of guys, you can hear them. You don't have to listen to the garbage in between all of them.
That's what Carl was just saying, that it's just much less, fatiguing, because you're not listening to that constant noise. I'll put one out just for that purpose.
And also acts as a nice, during thunderstorm or high atmosphere electrical times, you want to get on the band and listen, and you might not be able to transmit, but you can at least listen because the antenna's right on the ground, and it's good. It's isolated with the isolation transformer and everything, so it's safe to listen on.
Yeah, that's been on my wish list for a long time, and now it's right up at the top. So anyway, awfully quiet here tonight. No, not really. It's good. It's a good group. You're wondering what's holding Ray up.
And I'm back, KB2ZVP.
You gonna call Ray and get him out of nappy dappy time?
Oh, I don't know. He, like I said, it's Friday night. He may have gone out or something. Oh, speaking of nappy time, I started watching that unexplained, unidentified, whatever it was last night, and promptly fell asleep through the second half of it. So I'll have to pull it up again and see what the end was.
Geez, Randy, my watch says it's Saturday.
Is it Saturday? Well, yeah, all right. Thanks. I worked all day, and I was thinking it was... Okay, it's Saturday. You're right.
I'm sorry.
I give. I'm tired. What can I say?
Oh, 6 meters is waking up now. All kind of signals on there.
So, Carl, yeah, what they do is they take about 20 minutes of material and then compress it into an hour. And, because every time they go for break, they got to take 5 minutes to give you the recap of what they did before they went on break, because, our attention span is like that of a gnat. And so, after a while, they lull you into it. So they probably got about a few, an hour's worth of material that they're going to try to span over, 8 or 9 episodes. But, we'll see. It's pretty good.
You are now bouncing up to 7 S units on the log there, Bob.
Good. The sun's going deeper and deeper over the horizon, so excellent.
You're 20 over here.
On the receive antenna. Hey, Randy?
Echo Mike 74. I can hear those guys perfectly well on my loop, and my obviously my antenna tuner is tuned for 160, and it makes a huge difference when I tune it to the proper band. I mean, and those guys are coming in 5.9, a lot of them.
Oh yeah, it's great conditions for 6 right now.
Echo Mary 79 Rover too, which is pretty cool. I gotta shut the other receiver off.
Which means when 6 meters opens up, this band opens up as well. So the DX on this band might start coming back too.
Yeah, perhaps it may.
And 3 or more, I think I missed the bottom.
WG2E. KB2ZVP.
WA2EE.
KT2D.
I chased a bunch of spiders out of the SB220 today, though. That was a good thing.
Well, I bet you they were pissed at you.
Yeah, I got to run that thing once in a while.
Anywhere you go on planet Earth, you're no farther away from a spider than 3 feet.
Spiders are everywhere.
And it's a good thing, too.
Yeah, they're pretty amazing creatures.
If it wasn't for spiders, we would be buried 30 meters deep in bugs everywhere on planet Earth.
Oh, now there's a fun fact for you.
And that's absolutely true. So the next time you get thinking that you're going to step on a spider, give it a second thought and be a little Hindu for the moment and let them go.
I usually take like a glass jar or something and I put it over a guy, and then I slip a little piece of paper in there and then let him go outside.
There you go. Or put them in the basement. Yeah, they're great in the basement. They're your first line of defense.
Oh, no, they'd eat the crickets that I have in the basement.
Exactly.
I don't mind the crickets.
Until you try to sleep.
Nah, they're not noisy crickets. They just, when I'd come home from work at night and I'd be taking off my shoes and there'd be this little cricket there and he'd come cruising by and he's there all the time.
Oh, man, you talk about sometime right around mid to late October down here. The crickets are just out everywhere, and they are noisy.
Isn't that Irish lore is having a cricket on the hearth? Isn't that for good luck?
Yeah, sure thing. And the other thing is, it's really bad luck to kill a cricket in your home. Well, I don't kill them, and when they get where they're not supposed to be, I catch them and put them elsewhere. But, of course, the shack is down here in the basement, and it's finished, so I like to, it's not like I got dirt floors and bugs and critters.
Yeah, mine's in the basement, and I'm surrounded by spiders. Every now and then there'll be one crawling around. We seem to have a nice, peaceful coexistence going on here.
Well, sometimes when Ray's on, he's going, ooh, there goes a spider. Oh, it's another mouse. I think he's got things running across his desk there, too.
A spider or a mouse?
Do you hear the pop in the background? He shoots them with his air rifle, his air gun. Hey, they got some kind of gun, I saw it somewhere, that shoots salt. Like salt shaker salt for shooting at bugs. For bugs? Yeah, for shooting flies or something. Yeah, I got my friendly neighbor here. She's in the shack, Michelle. So, Tootie, I respect you, and you're like a common sense kind of guy. What do you do when you have a neighbor that just comes over far too often?
Consider yourself lucky.
I guess.
See right there. You see it right there.
I
Get your key back.
He's a very pleasant person, so that's a good thing.
Get my keys back, Mark. Was that you, Carl? Yeah. Tell her to give you your house key back. Yeah, they never even gave us the keys, but that's fine. We don't, we have ways to break into their home, and they have ways to break into our home, and I'm a little bit upset with her because she didn't bring me any eggs for tomorrow morning's breakfast. Well, can't you just go out and speak to the chickens? Yeah, I can, but she collects all the eggs and she brings them. They're on the coop?
Yeah, go get them.
Well, go get them for me.
Go get them.
You're just sitting there doing nothing. I'm over here on the radio talking to all these super nice people. I can't go over there now. Has she got like a nice little basket to collect the eggs? Yeah.
I do have a nice little basket.
Yeah, she has a basket. She collects the eggs in a basket. Got any green ones?
We have to.
Used to have green ones, she said, but not anymore. A friend of mine I used to work with His wife raises goats, and they got chickens, and they got a little farm stand and everything. So I went over there to see him. I said, oh, yeah, I'll get some eggs. So I get home, and I open up the eggs there, and they're all different sizes, all different colors. Yeah, these chickens last year were laying really small eggs. You notice that, Michelle? Yeah. Yeah, they were small chickens, and they were laying real small eggs. And now they're way bigger. Yeah, now they're way bigger. Doesn't it have to do with the amount of light or something? Yeah, well, it's their age too, for one thing. But
Prime laying.
yeah, they're prime laying right now. So, but in the wintertime, they slow right down laying because the sun's not up as much. Did they lay it all over the winter? Did they stop completely? I don't know.
When it gets really cold, they do.
Yeah, so they do stop for a bit, but they start right back up when it's warm and the sun's up.
I like Rhode Island Reds and them big brown eggs. Oh my God.
What kind of chickens do we have over here?
Black sex-laying and...
What are the brown ones? She forgot.
We used to have what we called tree chickens that flew around here, and they were Rock Island crosses is what they call them. They were Rhode Island Reds and yeah, whatever the hell the other one was now.
Sex Link.
Back in a minute.
KE3EG.
Got to talk to Mom. WG2E.
They have leghorns around here, or are those down south?
Now, you can get leghorns.
Yeah, they used to have them here. Michelle, what you have? 100 of them at one time? They used to have 100 chickens at one time, and when they lived here, the chicken coop that I refer to a lot as the shop is the old chicken coop. I mean, it's a pretty good sized building, and they had 100 chickens in there.
Awesome.
But now we have, 8 or 10, 12, something like that, and some ducks, and that's all the eggs that we need.
And Bromley, does he pay him any mind? He just looks at him, or does he ignore him?
Oh yeah, he does. He gets along with them fine. The ducks love Bromley. They'll just follow him around, and he is a great. Okay, this is a well trained for one thing, but we didn't have to train him to protect people or protect the animals or something like this. He is just naturally very intuitive and understands that these guys mean him no harm. We have these white rabbits, that Maureen has, and she puts a little, like a playpen kind of a thing outside. She'll set up this little fence and put the rabbits out there so they can get into fresh grass and like that. And Brownie will watch the rabbits, and all of a sudden one day there was a hawk or an eagle flying around, and he was looking over there watching that thing fly, and then he realized that the rabbits are out there. He went over, jumped over the fence, and just laid in there with the rabbits, just looking up at that bird. And then we got this big rooster that's a mean little, he's kind of a jerk. His name is George. And he'll attack the little boy next door, little Luca, who's here now. And Brownie will not bother that rooster, won't bother anything, but then when that rooster goes after that kid, he runs over there, and he runs right over that rooster. He won't take him by the throat and shake him like he should, but he just takes his 70-pound body and just mows this thing into the ground, and then George goes, goes away, and Luke is saved, and so he's just like the most incredibly just talent. I don't know. He's just got he's just a smart dog for some reason. He just knows when to protect people, and if there's a threat, to be worried about it, and if there's not a threat, not to worry about it.
Yeah, no, there are a lot of dogs that are like that, and he's a golden, I'm taking, or he's a yellow retriever, I think. I saw his picture, but yeah, they're smart, and they also know who the pack is, and it's all a group, and that's really neat.
He's a mutt. No, he's a rescue dog. All of our animals are rescue animals, and he is a rescue animal. His mom was a black lab. We met her at the shelter where we got him. And the lady down in Saugerties is where we got him. And she named him Bromley after Bromley Mountain because he was the biggest puppy, of the litter. And we were in a shelter. How do you keep naming animals different? So then I don't know. He answered to that, and he was only, I guess, 6 weeks old, 7 weeks when we first met him, and decided to take him home. And he's been a great dog, man. I'll tell you, he's just been fantastic, and he just protects people, that he knows that should be protected, and what was I going to say? Something else. I don't know. But anyway, he's a pit bull in there. You can see it in his face. He's got some pit bull in him. He's got a black tongue, so he's got chow in him. He's got the almond eyes of a chow, and he's got lab. So he's a dog that could be aggressive if you look at like if you're a stranger coming here at nighttime. He's super watchdog. I mean, he's like super watchdog. Somebody comes in there, he'll just wig out, hair stands up, the whole bit. And the instant they come to the door and I'll shake their hand or say, hey, how you doing? Welcome him in. He comes right down, wiggles his tail and sniffs everybody and loves everybody. But at nighttime, he is just he is super keyed up. He's just watching all the time.
Yeah, it sounds good. It sounds like he's the best of all worlds. That's nice. I remember watching saw him in when you were making the feed line. The ladder line there, and he was there underneath, just walking around, tail going along, just right there, checking everything out.
Contact.
Yeah, he keeps track of us. Hang on, Maureen wants me. KB2ZVP. There's somebody way off in the background. I can only hear a tiny bit and piece from him. I don't know if that's trying to come in or somebody just, making noise or somebody, a different QSO. I don't know what it is, but pay attention to that. Be back in a flash.
WB2OHN QRP.
W2OHN. I'll be back in a second. If you guys can, it sounds like that might be the call. It might be close to the call. Just a dozen of eggs just got arrived. Just
a baker's dozen.
A baker's dozen, 13. So I'll be back in a flash. KB2ZVP.
WB2OHN QRP, can you boost power? You're awfully weak. This really isn't the band for QRP.
I'm just doing a quick test on a little Chinese radio here that doesn't put out much, but at least we're getting out. I'm in Clifton Park, New York. What is your call GPS?
Okay, how are you? Good to hear you. I'm right down the road from you. The call here is Kilo Tango 2 Delta, KT2D. Name's Bob. I'm in Latham. And WG2E here, Carl. He's out in Delanson. The fella that you probably just heard is Randy, KB1ZVP. He's out in, let's see, West Monroe, New York, out by Oneonta, that area. So anyway, now you're doing fine locally here. I don't know how far out you are, how far out you're getting. What are you using for an antenna, over?
We're using a full-size dipole. Go ahead.
160-meter dipole, over?
That is correct. It's not very high off the ground, maybe about 30 feet.
Okay, no, you're doing pretty good. Yeah, the only thing is in the summer anyway, it gets kind of noisy on here, and most everybody has to use an amp if you got one. So, but Not bad. What do you feed? Are you feeding it with coax, or are you feeding it with open wire? Over.
No, it's just coax. There's choke valves in it, and we appreciate you getting the signal report from us, and we'll check in the next time with a little bit more power and a different rig. So,
What is this call?
KT2D, WB2OHN clear.
Okay, hold on a sec there, unless you can hang on. Yeah, you're about 10 over here where I am, so you're doing okay. It's WB2OHN, I think. OHN, Oscar Hotel November. Did I get that right?
That's correct, Bob. Your name is Don. Dog Ocean Nancy. Go ahead.
Okay, Don. Yeah, WB2OHN. He's in Clifton Park, New York. Randy, I don't know if you're copy. I'm out there. Over.
Here, I'm here.
Yeah, I think he's like 10 over or something. Is your name Don?
That's correct.
Okay, Don, this is Randy, and I'm in Toad Harbor, which is north of Syracuse, New York, and my call is Kilo Bravo 2 Zulu Victor Papa.
That's Kilo Bravo 2 Zulu Victor Papa. Zulu Victor Papa. Well, that's unbelievable. I'm getting out that far on 10 watts. So thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. This is a kind of a toy rig here. WB2OHN clear.
What kind of rig is it?
It's a Chinese rig. I don't even know I can't even pronounce the name or even spell it. It's a CS108G.
Okay, very good. All right, well, you're making it here, and I think that the guys that are hearing you are the guys doing all the work, right? Because you're only running 10 watts. And this is a terrible band to use QRP on, but you are doing a good job here, and the band is extremely quiet tonight. Normally, we probably wouldn't hear you. When you first came in there, I could just barely hear you, but now you're as strong as can be.
I don't know what happened, but yeah, the band can be real easy, and it is quite so thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate making the contact with you. WB2OHN, Clifton Park, New York, now clear.
Okay, 73. We'll see you later.
Yeah, he was doing. I was surprised when he said QRP. I didn't think he was really QRP. I just thought he meant barefoot. But with 10 watts, yeah, he had he's got a full wave dipole, and not bad actually. So yeah, if he gets an amp, he'll be doing some pretty good work there, I think, Randy. Katie.
Yeah. If he had an amp, he'd be way better for sure. Thank you.
Hello, Toad Harborians. This is KC3BYC.
Hey, Roy. I heard you met Mike.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, had an audience with him, and yeah, pretty good guy.
Did he have his wife Joanne with him?
No, he was batching it.
Okay, yeah, Mike's a great guy.
He was talking to another one of my friends first, and Rick says, "This is Mike." He says he's from Toad Harbor, or a Toad Harbor guy. And I said, "Are you good Mike or bad Mike?" And he says, "I'm good Mike." That was pretty comical.
That is funny.
Yeah, he hung around the Hamfest there for quite a while. Not until it broke up. Pretty cool meeting.
Roy, where was the Hamfest at?
It's just a local one here, Lime Ridge, which is near Berwick, Pennsylvania. It's the Columbia Montour County Amateur Radio Club. And it's small. It's well, there probably wasn't 25 vendors there. I mean, tailgaters, and one vendor selling stuff, and that was even a small vendor. But it's a good gang, you know, good bunch of hamsters. It's $5 for a spot. I at a yard sale bought a Tram D201, not restorable, but just for parts, and I sold the craziest thing. The first thing I sold this morning was that old CB radio, and I tripled my money.
Outstanding. You guys all here in Roy okay?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's coming in fine here in Latham. KT Tootie.
You know, that guy Don Tootie is like neighbors with you, right? He's in Clifton Park.
Yeah, he's only about 7 or 8 miles away from me. A little farther from Carl, but he's just 1 or 2 exits up the north way from me.
Well, it looks like my stainless steel quad is working gang boosters on 6.
WA3FPN.
There's good, Mike.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello again, good Mike. Roy, KC3BYC.
Hey, Roy. Good to hear you again.
Blew me away that someone from Toad Harbor would be at our little ham fest. Yes, blown away.
Yeah, you never know where we might show up.
Next weekend is the first weekend of bass. Next Saturday is the first day of bass season, where you can keep the poor things. Or I would just maybe tool on up there to Kingston next weekend. But no, I gotta. These fish are gonna starve to death if I don't get after them.
Well, can't you fish out of the Hudson River?
I never gave that a thought.
We're gonna be right on the water. You can drop a line.
I think if I was going to fish on the Hudson, I'd do it like Crocodile Dundee. I think I'd use dynamite.
Now that might get somebody's attention.
I just worked Illinois on 6.
Holy cow.
Are you using any power?
No, just 100 watts.
Yeah, I was down here listening a little bit. That's probably that guy I heard.
Yeah, there's all kind of stations on there.
Well, it's a contest.
I know. I'm not in the contest, but it's been like years since I've heard anything on 6.
Yeah, me too. That guy was coming in here. He was probably about 10 or 15 over.
Oh, easy. Yeah, he's big.
Mark, what antenna are you using?
4-element quad. Here or there?
On 6.
Yeah, 4-element homebrew quad. Made out of stainless steel.
My loop does a great job. I mean, I hear all those guys in there, they're just booming in, and I'm not even close to being tuned for that band.
I may have to hook up my beam and try that later on.
Yeah, 10's been open all day.
Wow, things are changing.
Yeah, it's starting to almost feel like it was a while ago. I'm getting all excited. I love the upper bands. I was doing 10-meter mobile all morning out in the mobile.
KA3SBK.
Hi, Chris.
Hello. Yeah, I've been on the VHF contesting, having some fun. There's a lot of stations out there.
How's 2 meters doing? Anybody been checking on 2 meters?
So-so. It's mainly Virginia, West Virginia, PA, Maryland. For me, anyway. It's I'm probably not going much more than about 70 miles.
I thought I'd have run into you at Howard County the other week.
I thought you weren't going because you're back, so I didn't go.
That was the first one since my operation.
I'm sorry. If I knew that, I would have definitely went. Because it didn't rain. I could have brought the car.
Yeah, the weather was nice.
Wait a minute. You're afraid to drive your car in the rain?
I don't drive my hot rod in the rain.
Which one? The Javelin?
Yeah. It's a fair weather car, and if the field is wet, I won't park in the field because it's all field parking, and it's wet. Your car goes all over the place.
Yeah, okay. I was thinking you were talking about the Tesla.
I'll drive that anywhere. It don't matter. I just got off 6 meters. I made about 40 contacts. It's definitely hopping.
What are you using on 6?
I'm the FT991 with a 80 meter dipole.
Yeah, I might have to go check that out after a while.
Well, I know right now it's cooking. Everybody's banging away, and the signals are really good, so hopefully it'll hold up. And we'll see what happens later on, but I'll probably get in there a little bit later and hit some locals. They'll be screaming CQ on 2 meters and 440, but 440 is not so much, but 2 meters and 6 meters and 220, people are on there definitely.
Maybe it's always open. Maybe you just don't hear anybody because there's not a contest.
That's what I always say is everybody's assuming it's closed all the time, and it's open, but nobody's talking. I'll get down there and call CQ, and every so often I hear someone come back to me and say, amazing.
You know, we used to, back in the day when I first met Ray, we kind of morphed or moved into 6 meters from 2 meters, and we would have we had a good group of guys, 10, 15 guys every night that would get in, and the band, it would make Ray nuts because we'd be in there talking, and all of a sudden somebody would come in, and they're just wigging out because they didn't know the band was open. Nobody knew the band was open, but it was open all the time. I mean, we were on there, and any time you could talk to people in the middle part of the country, and it got to the point where some of the guys were pretty cool, and they would just come in and chat with us too, and they would be there all the time. So we know the band was open, and most people just sit there and they're sitting on the call frequency, waiting for someone to call CQ because they think the band is closed.
Exactly. It's funny, I did that on 10 meters. It was just dead quiet. I called CQ and called for about 3 or 4 minutes. Finally, someone came back. We started rag chewing, and all of a sudden, there was another guy popped in there. We had a round table of about 8 to 10 people, probably within an hour. And it wasn't any great distance, but everybody's listening, but nobody's talking.
I'm not used to this on 6 meters.
Are you on there getting some contacts, K3STK?
Yeah, every time I make a contact, they're like, wow, big signal.
I can imagine that must be shocking to you.
Yeah, I'm not used to that. Well, I made that antenna like 2 years ago. It's been up there, and I was talking with it locally. the three of us here within, like Gary's one of them and another buddy of ours. We just yak back and forth, and I actually even made a collinear ground plane for 6, and, you know, we got tired with it, and it's been up there. You know, I hardly ever listen to it, but now that the contest is on, there's like 67 signals on there.
Just think how well it would work if it was made out of aluminum.
Well, at the size that it is, the stainless steel has so little resistance. It is obviously effectively irradiating energy.
It seems that way.
Yes, it would seem that way. Of course, according to Ray, though, if I built it out of pure copper, I would probably increase it by 10 dB.
You just fold over because copper's too soft.
It's a quad.
Don't diss Ray, because he is the one that got you to have a decent signal on 160.
I know, but I'm just running out of things to bust his chops on.
Well, you could take a break from busting his chops. I guess you could do that.
It's not in his nature.
Somebody's got to take the abuse, Randy, or I'll just pop.
You know, Mark, I don't have to remind you that you got tossed off another net because of your bad attitude.
Yeah, but this is the home of bad attitude.
What are you talking about? Listen, the bottom of the underneath the Toad Harbor net, it always says the friendly net on all the T-shirts.
Only if you got a bad attitude.
Where's Ray? Down at the tunnel tonight?
Yeah, I think maybe he is.
I'm looking for Emily.
Gonna bring her. Wouldn't that be something if he shows up with her?
Well, he could bring anybody and say it was Emily, and because I never saw her.
Well, there's many of us that did witness her. So, you know, it would have to be the right girl, or a pretty close facsimile of the right girl. The girls are out there with the fire going. They got the fire in the fire ring out there burning.
Hey, Mark.
He's down on 6.
Yeah, I was going to ask him where on 6 he's at, and I gave him a call.
I just took a little trip down here. None of my antennas are even close to working down there.
I just went down and was listening on my 160 antenna, and I was hearing a guy from Illinois.
W2MUR.
Hey, Michael.
What's going on, beautiful people?
Well, I guess we're just chatting away.
I was just, Mike, I have to echo good Mike, because I was down at 6 meters. Couldn't believe it. I made like almost 10 contacts on my 160 dipole. I mean, just unbelievable.
Who called me?
Mark, Chris.
Yes, go ahead.
Where are you at on 50?
At the moment, I'm sitting at 5147.5.
I'll give you a call.
In use.
Oh.
I mean, it's going to be hard to find a clean spot, believe it or not.
It's not that hard. It's not, I mean, it's doing well, but it's not that crazy. How is it possible that everybody's piled up on each other on 6 meters?
It's a contest.
I know, but you'd think there's such a wide frequency that they wouldn't be bunched up.
No, not during a contest.
Goes to show you, 6 meters is booming.
Okay, 5167. 50.167 is clean.
I'll go down there.
So I talked to somebody from Florida, Alabama,
2 Tennessees, 1 Illinois, and 1 Missouri.
Well, when the bands go open, you can talk anywhere you want, you know?
I'm just shocked that a 160 dipole would be so good. I mean, I was getting really good reports.
Well, if you can tune in, think about how many wavelengths long a 160 dipole is on 6 meters.
Yeah, right. So I've got Devin. I wanted him to do a modeling of a. So I wanted to experiment with a folded dipole. So I'd like to do 2-inch space towed harbor line for the upper, and of course feed it with the same 42 feet that I have, and see. It should be. I'm doing 2-inch spacing only because it's lighter, but I probably could go 4. So, I mean, obviously a folded dipole is nothing but a full loop compressed, but we talked a little bit about that yesterday, but the only comment I had was it was a lot heavier. But I mean, a whole folded dipole is going to be, it's going to be increased gain.
Why is it?
Folded dipole, well, because it's a full wave, basically a full wave loop.
But it's not. It's open, so it's a folded dipole.
Folded dipole is supposed to have higher gain than a regular dipole.
By how much?
I think it's 4 dB.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, but back in the day when I did this as a novice, I was using the 300 ohm twin lead because it was cheap.
Yeah, well, build one tomorrow. That's a super simple antenna to build.
Yeah, it really is. Same footprint.
Yeah, you already got the support structures up. Just go ahead and build it. I don't believe you. I just can't believe you didn't do it today.
Yeah, I know. Boy,
I tried.
I should have just, shut down. What a gorgeous day today. I had so much to do today, and actually it ended up being a lot of great calls, cold calls, which I don't normally do.
Yeah, well, I was real busy here working on the antenna project, and it was just a glorious day out there, man. Fabulous day. It got a little bit warm, 4 or 5 o'clock for me out in the sun, but I had my big brim hat on and kept on working. But I built a little ready mixer, put it together, and when I got done with that, I had to take a break and just sit down, have a couple glasses of water, and then we went back at it.
Sounds like a heavy-duty day. It's amazing. All you need is 2 or 3 days of this, and you forget about the cold weather and the rain, and everything. You don't even remember it. So I was hearing somebody up on 6, and they're basically saying it's been a solid week of open. That 6 has been open 10 meters as well.
Yeah, those bands are open.
So tomorrow I got to get up 4:30 in the morning. I go up to Colgate, get up there and meet the guys, and we take all those lights down.
What?
Taking them all down, packing them all away, be ready to put them up in November.
Why would you do that?
Because that's what they want.
So it's just an experiment? That was just an experiment before the winter?
No, not at all. They've been doing it twice a year. And they tried to leave them up one year, and the animals chewed up the wires, and it was a mess, supposedly. But it's fine with me if they want to, put them up, take them down, and then do it again in November.
Who used to do it?
There used to be a company, another company did it that specialized only in decorative lighting and, party lighting and stuff like that.
Are they still in business?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure, but I think they are.
Isn't that something they can do by themselves after they see you do it one time?
No, I mean they just don't want anything to do with it. I know their electricians and their people up there, their facilities people, don't want anything to do with this.
Well, good for you, I guess.
Yes, really. Actually,
Don't wait
taking
till
them down is
November to
supposed
put
to be
them
a
up.
little bit longer than putting them up.
I would think taking them down would be a lot harder than putting them up.
Yeah, I mean, because you've got to fold them up, you've got to roll them up into tiny little balls, pack them very tightly in these black bins, and then we got a little experiment that we want to try to, we're going to roll them, we'll take them down on some big reels, the base part of the tree, and these big reels, and with the thought of trying to, go quicker when we put them up in November.
Why don't they use these lights year-round?
Say again?
Why don't they use them year-round?
Keep the lights up year-round?
Yeah, why don't they, like, every day when it gets dark, why don't they turn them on?
It's a good question. I do not know. I think they just want to make sure that what they do is special for graduation and reunion, and special for when the kids are back in school for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Otherwise you just get used to them.
Hey, night, you guys. Good talking to you. Good meeting you there, good Mike. And we'll catch you all again real soon. KC3BYC.
Okay, Roy, good meeting you in person. Maybe we'll see you down at Harrisburg, and try to keep Rick in line.
That's impossible.
Are you checking out, Roy?
Yeah, I'm going to go watch the ball game, the Mets. You guys got a Mets farm club up there now, Randy. You probably know that, but I'll make a trip up there to see them someday.
Well, let me know when you do. We go there. We love going to the stadium. We have a blast there.
Yeah, I think this is the first year for the Mets being up there.
It is. Yeah, they bought it last year, and then this is the first full year.
Yeah, cool. Okay, night all. Have a good evening. KC3BYC.
You bet. 73.
So is Carl in there?
Carl has been, but everybody's been talking about 6 meters, so I'm thinking that maybe they've gone there.
I got to look at that on my other receiver, but I was wondering if Carl put his beverage on the ground back in.
That's what he's running now. Yeah, he's been running that. He took the loop up.
Yeah, I'm thinking about switching back, even though the loop does pretty well. I just I like the bog on the antenna crashes that it attenuates. Just does a great job for it. And so tomorrow is going to be another beautiful day.
I'm going to get up early in the morning and pour my concrete tomorrow.
I tell you what, man, just mixing that and then pouring it, that's a lot of work.
Well, that's why I bought a mixer. I've already had, I've had 6 hernia operations, right? So I decided, you know what, maybe hoeing that crap isn't, hoeing 4,000 pounds of concrete is not a good idea. So I went over to Harbor Freight and I bought one of the, they're large concrete. What a pile of junk this thing is. But I think it's going to work. I mean, oh my God. For $200 though, you can't get much. It's got like a little Singer sewing machine motor on the thing. I don't know. They said it'll handle 3.5 cubic foot of concrete mix. I'll put 2 cubic foot in there, and I'm sure it'll handle that. And it'll be easier to do that than it will be if I were mixing it by hand.
Now, they make trucks that haul that stuff, and you could have come down here and picked mine up and used that.
Well, for $200 I couldn't have.
Now, how many pour locations do you have, Randy?
Just one for tomorrow, and then this is an experiment. So I've got this. I'm going to do this experiment tomorrow, and when this thing goes off without a hitch, like I'm very confident it will, and then I'll have either 2 or 3 more.
I could have brought it up next week.
Yeah, I want to get the concrete poured tomorrow.
Well, you would have had to wait a week.
I've already waited 3 weeks. I've been working on this schedule. I keep pushing it back, and so this is a good week to do it, because this way here I'll pour the concrete, and then I'll have the rest of the week to build all the structure, and then I'll it'll wait another weekend, because obviously we're going to be at the summit next weekend, and then the weekend after that I'm going to try to get it raised up.
I'd have called a truck.
It's not enough concrete. It's not enough. It's just a small little tiny, pad and 3 4-foot diameter, 12-inch or 12-inch diameter, 4-foot deep, pilasters or whatever you want to call them, and and then that's going to be integrated to a 5-foot by 5-foot pad. So it's not like it's a bunch of concrete, and there was just no need to spend that kind of money for a yard of concrete.
How'd you make the holes?
With my auger.
Well, it doesn't sound so bad.
No, you just drill the hole with the. I dreamt this. I swear to God, I had this entire dream, and I built this entire system, and I'm dedicated to building it exactly the way I dreamt it. So this whole thing, because I'm thinking to myself, why didn't I use 4 holes? And I got thinking about it. Wait a minute, that's right. I'm doing it because I dreamt 3 holes, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
So when you go to the other locations, are you be able to put that on your tractor and pull it around?
Pull what around?
I mean, is the mixture big, small enough where you just kind of roll it around to wherever you want easily?
Yeah, it's just 3 cubic foot, Mike. You can, it's got a handle. You just wheel it. It's like a wheelbarrow, but it's not a wheelbarrow, but it's just a small thing.
I got you.
Thank God for Harbor Freight.
It's 3 cubic feet, not 3 cubic yards. So it's 27 cubic foot in a yard. So you're going to need to mix this thing a bunch of times for a yard of concrete.
Yeah, they'll deliver for half a yard. That's the smallest they'll go up here.
They'll deliver for 5 yards as the short load charge there where you are. If you want a half a yard, you're going to spend more money than it would cost you for probably 5 yards.
Oh, you're right. It is 5 yards. I remember that lighting project I had.
Come on, dude. I'm in the biz, okay? And that's the other reason. And the only way I would do it is if I had my tower, the big tall tower ready to go, and then these supports ready to go, and then I would bring a truck in and do everything at once. But this is a low budget. I want to build one. I got steel for 2 structures, and I want to build one just to make sure it goes off without a hitch. And then when it does, I'll do the other ones.
You guys don't run mixers out of your place, do you?
No, we're a concrete company. This is probably, no, this is not the first one. No, I did work at one other place that didn't do ready mix, but most of the places I've run, I had ready mix and block to take care of. The ready mix is a lot easier. I like the ready mix. It's a way simpler way to make a living.
Yeah, my dad drove truck for years.
A mixer truck?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's a pretty big responsibility driving one of them.
That was back before they had the front loaders and all that stuff.
So how do you? So when that thing is done for the day and it's all emptied, what do they do to keep it clean and clean it all out? Will they just flush it with a gigantic amount of water and just flush it out?
Yeah, you wash it in between loads. Yeah, you wash it before you leave the job. Every job, it gets washed after every job, Mike.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying at the end of the day. It gets washed inside and out at the end of every job?
Yeah, inside, yeah. You can't leave concrete in there all day long. You pour 5 yards at Mike's house. Before he leaves Mike's house, he washes it out. And then he leaves the crap there, and then he goes back to the plant and gets 10 yards, for Bob's job. And then when he gets done with the 10 yards of Bob's job, he washes it out and leaves it there, and then goes back, gets 12 yards for Randy's job.
So they got a separate water tank to do that?
Yeah. Wow.
Didn't matter how clean they got them. Back when my dad was doing that, I remember periodically throughout the years they'd have to go inside there with a jackhammer, and I guess they had to clean the fins off and that kind of stuff.
It happens every truck every year. Yeah. If you do stay work, they actually come in and measure it. They clean it the best that they can. Okay, but a couple times a year, there's a crew out of Texas with a bunch of Mexicans that they go from plant to plant, and they'll jackhammer mixer trucks.
Yeah, they didn't have Mexicans back then. The guys had to do it themselves. That's probably why they all went deaf so early.
Remember Eric Krasinskis? He was at Cranesville. The guys did it themselves, or we'd have young guys jump in there and do them, clean them up. My son did 27 mixer trucks in 2 weekends, jackhammering those things, and it's a lot of stinking work. Anyway, this kid, Eric Krasinskis, he's in there. He goes in at 2 o'clock in the morning, starts jackhammering the mixer trucks. And this is before we used to be. This is actually why we would chain the barrels and all that. This is before all that. So he's in there. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. He's high or stoned or drunk or whatever he is. This guy is, whatever. Hey, listen, he cleans mixer barrels for a living. So he jumps in there. He's got the jackhammer hose in there. He goes in. He falls asleep. The compressor runs out of fuel, so it shuts off. The truck driver, Paul something, okay, so the hatch on the side of the mixer mic, so you understand, for bad mics, I know good mic knows, but there's a hole that you open up a panel on the side of the barrel, and he climbs up in there and he pulls up, throws up his jackhammer and the hoses and all that, throws it up in there, and he's in there. He starts jackhammering away, decides to take a break, boom, he falls asleep. Compressor runs out of fuel, shuts off. Paul Blatchford comes in to work, gets in the driver's side with, in the truck, and keys in the ignition, starts up the truck. As soon as you start the truck, the barrel starts moving. And all of a sudden, he hears this kabang, crash, bang, crash, and there's the... he saw the air compressor line going around, whipping around. So he shuts it off, and here goes old Haji. He comes out of the barrel all beat up, cut up, banged up. He got hit by the jackhammer, So nowadays they have to lock the barrels so they can't move, and they take the key out of the ignition, of course, which is like the simplest thing to do, but they didn't think about it back in the day.
Oh my gosh. No wonder the guy didn't die. I mean, it's not just a jackhammer hitting him, it's all that concrete he busted up. It's like getting stoned.
And the fins inside of the barrels get like razors because they're just getting worn. They just wear and wear and wear. So they're like razor blades inside of those. Yeah, he was all cut up, cut his clothes to shreds.
Oh my gosh. How do you fall asleep in there, man? Oh man.
Yeah, he's the same guy that fell. He was inside of a cement silo when they unloaded a tanker truck while he was in the silo. Another story. I heard Ray just check in. Go ahead, Ray.
Hello. I'm just letting you know I'm in here.
So did you get her? Did you find her?
Find who?
Emily.
No, I didn't go to Northampton. I went to Sturbridge.
We were laying odds that you went to the tunnel looking for Emily.
Yeah, that's why I want to find Emily.
Sturbridge. They have a Sturbridge down in South Jersey. How you doing, Ray?
Good. Sturbridge, wow, it's quite the town. I was really impressed. I haven't been out there in a long time.
Yeah, you could probably find her on Match.com if you had a computer.
Hello. My display is freezing on transmit because I was trying to do some stuff with it, and I guess I did the wrong stuff.
So, Ray, 6 meters is open, as you probably know. I'm talking to people, many others too, are on the 160 dipole. Clear signals in the Florida, Alabama, just various, like 8 other places.
Hello. Yeah, well, I'm not a big 6 meter person.
I'm just amazed that a 160 dipole works so well.
Is Tootie still in here, or did he fall asleep?
You have power on 6, don't you, Mike?
Yes. I tried it because I've never used the LA1K on 6 before. I tuned everything up and I tried it, 50 watts, and I tried it 100 watts, and then I toned it down and tried it 200 watts, 300 watts, and all the way up to 1,000.
The match.
Yeah, it was 1-to-1 all the way.
Wow.
That ATR 30. And the world famous, globally renowned Toad Harbor open line feed.
It's open feed line.
I'm sorry.
Hello.
But it's okay, we got it.
Wonder if we could all work each other on 6.
Yeah, we could try. I'm looking at 50.185 right now on the other receiver.
I could probably hear you. Were you 185?
Yeah, 185. I'd have to take my tuner and go all the way to the end and tune it up real quick.
I'm not going to worry about it. I mean, one day you and I should try that, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Ray and I tried it when we didn't hear each other. I think Ray and I tried it about a year ago.
Hello.
Did you get it figured out, Ray?
No. I've been trying things with this radio lately, things that I've done before, and now I can't do them anymore. So the display is not working on transmit, and I was screwing around with it trying to get that shortwave thing on yesterday, and it says press F. Okay, this is how you get that shortwave thing on. Press F, SWL on menu screen to display SWL screen. Well, there is no F.
There's not an F like F5 or F4.
Yeah, there's F1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but none of those are the ones.
Do you not have your amp on?
No, not yet. Hang on, it's up. Hang on. Okay, it's on now.
That's a little better.
Yeah, but now I'm getting no transmit on the display. As soon as I key the transmitter, the display freezes.
I'm sure you'll figure it out. It's probably just a simple setting somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, but I can't figure it out.
Did you get another 7610?
I'd never get one of those.
My display works on transmit.
Yeah, this one always did too until I screwed around with it yesterday.
Hey, so I've got some information for you from Carl, WG2E, about 6 meters.
Yeah, what about it?
So he was on the contest. The bands are low, jam-packed full of people, and he could move right into guys that were 20 over and work guys that were next to nothing. And I said to him, did you run the preamp during the contest? And he goes, absolutely. I had it on preamp too. He said, and zero overload whatsoever.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, well, he probably doesn't have the big signals coming in.
Go ahead, Carl.
Good evening. I had a nice long talk with Mom, and as soon as I hung up the phone with her, Mike, TTV, called me up, and I had a nice chat with him, so he says hi to everybody.
Oh, good. Hi, Mike, if you're listening somehow.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn about all this test gear.
Well, that's the guy to learn it from right there.
Yeah, Ray, the 6 meters with lots of strong stations, it worked pretty good. I was rather pleased.
Ray's having trouble with his rig. He's in and out a little bit.
Yeah, I heard something there. He's got the screen messed up or something.
Yeah, Carl, I was on as well. I worked about 10 people almost, and I almost let my T-bone steak burn to a crisp on the grill.
Yeah, I worked. I don't know. I probably got maybe 40 or 50 guys I worked today.
Did you really? That many?
Well, right in the beginning of the contest, I got home from the store about 2:30, and I thought I'd just see what was going on, and it was open to Echo Mary and Echo November and Echo Lima, and I worked, I don't know, 30 or 40 people then in the space of an hour and a half or so, and then I worked a bunch here not too long ago, and the band's still open.
Yeah, it's amazing. Now, I had Preamp 2 on, and it seemed to help tremendously in 6 meters.
Yeah, that's where I left it. I didn't try it other than to just turn it off and see what happened.
I saw a big difference. I saw the biggest difference ever on Preamp 1 to Preamp 2 on 6 meters. I don't see any difference on Preamp 1 and Preamp 2 on anything like 20 meters and below.
So, Carl, you're using a 6-meter antenna, right? Yeah, 6M5, maybe it's 70 feet.
That's a great antenna. It's not the world's best antenna, but that's a good antenna, and you should be picking up some pretty big signals with that.
Yeah, it's been up there for a while though, so I don't know, 20 years or so, and the coax is LMR 400, but it's as old as that too.
Yeah, probably time to overhaul it. If the band starts getting better and you're going to be using it a lot, just take it down, overhaul it, clean it up, fix that matching box goes. They get goofed up on those antennas, so you probably could redo that, put some new, fresh LMR 400, and you'll be good for another 20 years.
Yeah, I'm thinking about maybe taking my other 6M5 and put it on the tower I got on the side of my house. That would be like at 40 feet, but half the coax run. So at least I'd have something to use while I was working on the other.
I'm getting great reports of my 160 dipole, Carl.
I'd like to see
Carl
you're
using
loop,
your
see how he did with that. I
6?
bet you he'd be surprised at how good that works.
Say again?
I said I'd like to see Carl tune up that 160 loop and see how well that works. I bet you he'd be surprised that it would work really well.
I wonder if my tuner would tune it at 160.
Wherever you tune, say 17 meters, 18 megahertz, start at that point.
Oh, that might be worth trying sometime.
Yeah, Ray, he told me that because he did that with his, and that's what I tried mine. And sure enough, I looked at my settings for 17 meters. I started there, and just tweaked it a tiny bit, and bingo, she was there.
Yeah. Once I tune to 6 meters, it's pretty much flat through almost the whole band. I don't have to tune it anymore. I've got a meter out to 85, my transmitter capacitor to 10, and antenna capacitor, I think, what do my notes say, 11. So 10 and 11 on the capacitor settings, 85 in the inductor.
Oh, well, maybe tomorrow I'll give that a try.
But I'm using a dipole. But yeah, I mean, try to loop on the ground. I wonder if that would work.
Well, the loop on the ground is going to come up. I've decided I like the bog better.
Yeah, I'm going to try it too because I don't see any. I see a big difference in signal to noise, but nothing earth-shattering as far as pulling weak signals in. And I see a proportional amount of static crashes on the loop on the ground.
Yeah, I think the bog is quieter for lightning, so that's why I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember Rain Man?
Oh, I forgot to ask Mike if he was going to come, TTV, if he was coming to the picnic. I wonder if he said anything.
He's planning on, yes.
Oh, okay.
Last I knew, anyhow. I think he'll come down with a Bipster. Hey, John, are you listening here by any chance? He's probably, if he was home, he's contesting, I'd imagine.
Well, yeah, he's probably talking on 1296 with that dish.
Fixed meter is doing pretty good.
What are you making, popcorn? Carl, can't you convince him to get a different microphone for that radio? I told him, I said, when I was down at his house, I said, where's that mic you got? And I picked it up and I squeezed it, and it goes creak, creak, creak. I said, you got to get some oil or something in there.
Don't tell me, okay, so don't tell me. He's got a Kenwood hand mic, right?
Yeah, that's what it is, a Kenwood hand mic.
They are horrible. I did everything possible to quiet that thing down, and nothing works.
It's probably the radio would sound a million times better if you had a different mic. That is the worst sounding audio I think I hate to bag on him, but because I like Stan a lot. But that audio with all that crunching, you can't hear what he's saying.
Even if you just switched it with an ICOM push to talk, you'd be 1,000% better.
Is that a direct switch? Yep. Hey, I got a couple ICOM mics up here if you want to borrow one.
Me too.
I'm trying to think, what do you have to do to change over to ICOM? You can, it might not key it. I use a foot switch. It's a direct switch for me because I use a foot switch, but it may not key. It might have to change the wire.
Yeah, because you need to excite it with 8 volts.
Yeah, let's get it all excited.
What time you guys planning on getting there next week?
I hear Randy says to be there at 9, so you guys can sit in on his accounting meeting.
Yeah, you'll like that. We're talking about life insurance. I was thinking 10:30, 11-ish. Yeah, that would be very sufficient.
Good, Mike. I'm not allowed to comment on the picnic. I'm sorry.
That's right. You're not going, bum.
I'm going to hit a Hamfest in Piscataway, New Jersey on the way.
Oh, my gosh. You are the king, the absolute king of Hamfest.
Hello.
The absolute king.
I don't know about that, but I'm missing two.
Hello.
I'm missing one in Manassas and one in Upper Co, Maryland next week, so I gotta at least get a little bit of a fix there somewhere.
Oh, you are slipping. What a tragedy that is.
Well, maybe we should bring some stuff along, and you can look at it, and you'll feel right at home at the picnic.
Well, there you go.
So if anybody wants to bring anything to sell, you're more than welcome. There's plenty of picnic tables that we probably won't be using. So if somebody wanted to bring stuff and thought, you know what, I'll throw it on a table, absolutely, positively, bring it.
It's $5 a table, though.
Pay to the bald guy. Which one? Me.
Hey, well, what are you guys looking for? I probably have it here.
Chris, you probably got 2 of everything.
Bring all your boat anchors.
How about an RF signal generator?
Do you have a preference in manufacturers?
Are we talking old or recent?
Yeah, I think most of the stuff I have is old.
It's got to be Hewlett Packard.
Yeah, like an 8640B or something.
The stuff I have has tubes in it.
That's a little old. I'll tell you where you need to go, Carl. If you're looking for test equipment, you should come up to the Stewart Electric. And where's that? Syracuse.
Carl, that's
was it used stuff? What's that, Mike?
I said that Stewart's is fantastic with test equipment. They got spectrum analyzers I used at General Electric, the 8513s, that were $15,000 at the time, and those things are beautiful. He's got 3 or 4 of them.
They online?
No.
I don't think so. Is that near you then, Randy? It's right around the corner from the block plant. I go there almost every day. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll have to make a pilgrimage. I could kill several birds with the same stone.
We had an idea. In a couple of weeks, we should maybe we'll get some breakfast over there, and then we all go.
Is it all surplus stuff?
It's a very, very interesting store. It's not surplus. No, they have all. I mean, I would take you out back and I could show you where he works on stuff. This guy Mike is a surface mount machine, and he does stuff for people all over the world. And he builds boards for them and stuff. And they have this electric store that's loaded with anything and everything. It's just everywhere, but Mike knows where it all is. And there's this old guy, Stuart, that was from World War II, and he was a radio guy there. We used to repair all the radios, and they're a couple of brilliant electronics guys, and they have a store full of stuff. And they bring stuff in, they take stuff in on trade, or they'll buy stuff, and they'll buy a company out, and they got all kinds of test equipment there, Lots and lots of stuff. Okay, the most important thing to me is they're great guys. They're really, genuinely great people. And that's what, of course, attracts me to the place, first of all. And then they got a ton of stuff that I need when I need it.
Well, let's go check them out.
What do they have, like ham stuff there?
They don't have ham stuff. They have antenna connectors, and they're both hams, but they don't get on ham radio. But they have a lot of electronic stuff, a lot of, oddball. Mike's got this old boat anchor. He needed a microphone connector for a one-pin connector. They had it. I have it in my bin over here. They have two mic connector things. Actually. Who was it? Boy. He came out to the block plant just the other day. His wife just passed. Who am I thinking of?
Oh, yeah. The wife just passed. Who was it?
Yeah, it was 2 nights ago. His wife just... So anyway, he came by to see the block plant. I showed him around, and he was talking about the connector. And I sent him one. I said, "Go over to see Mike. He's got one more left." And he needed this ultra exotic weirdo mic connector, and of course Mike had it.
I need a one-pin connector if you got an extra one.
I have one right here.
Yeah, throw it in with the foot switch.
What foot switch? I thought Doc made you a foot switch.
Yeah, I know. I did. He did. I got to go down and thank him for it.
So if Joanne comes to Syracuse, is this a place I could spend the whole day in?
I don't think you'd spend a day there, no.
A couple hours. Maybe an hour.
Then I got to find something to do with the rest of my day while she's working.
If you'd come by the block plant, I could show you around there. That'll take a few minutes.
Could I, hustle some blocks and make a couple extra bucks?
Not with your back. No, I don't need a lawsuit. Thanks anyway.
I could do some paperwork.
You can go back to the house and you could get some chicken eggs. I could fix some of your equipment.
I don't know if you could, Carl.
Well, I don't know if those videos are anything that anything like what you really have there. I could do it.
So here's a question. You ready? This is a test for Carl.
Okay, you going to embarrass me?
I don't know. We'll see. I'm not going to embarrass... Carl, I would never embarrass you. Now, are you going to embarrass yourself? That is the question. Shoot. I get back yesterday after going to the auction, and I walk into the block plant, and here I see a motor with an air line strapped to it, and they're blowing air against this motor, which is getting hot. So I said, "What's happening?" He goes, "Well, the motor's getting hot. The breaker's tripping." So I said, "Okay, well, what have you done so far?" And he says, "Well, it's starting and stopping a lot because we're running this really hard block, and it's this really long conveyor. It's very heavily loaded, and it start, stop a lot. So first of all, it's blowing the heaters, not the breaker, the heaters. They had 36 N36 heaters in it, and they went to an N50 heater in it, okay? And it's still blowing it, not as often, of course, but it's still blowing it. What do you test? Where are we starting with testing?
Well, I'd check to see if the voltage was. I'm assuming is it a contactor operated motor or is it got a VFD?
It's a contactor. It's an old Allen Bradley from the 70s, 80s kind of era. This is all old stuff. So it's a contactor motor, and it's a 230 three-phase.
Okay, check the voltage first coming into the contactor. When the contactor is closed, check the voltage across each contact to see if there's a voltage drop. Then get your clamp meter out and see what the legs are for amps.
There's somebody way up in the background. So far, you're exactly right. So the motor full load amperage, it says 9 amps, and it's running at 7.8 amps, 2 legs, and one leg is saying that it's got it's not pulling any amperage.
Well, you got an open, or the contactor's not right.
I hear somebody trying to get in there. Stand by a second there, bud. First of all, look around. While we're talking, Carl and I, look at your radio and see if you can find any knobs that have power on them and add as much as you can. And then if you can find compression, use that too because you're really light. So stand by just a second. So there's no open. And now understand something. Now listen to this part. So I'm watching the thing. It start, stop, and I look over on the corner of my eye. I catch it. It's running backwards.
Because of that air they're trying to cool it with.
Well, I would say it was single phasing.
So this is what happened. And you're, by the way, everybody, Carl is a bazillion times right. Okay, perfect. That's exactly what you should do. Check the voltage, top and bottom. Check the amperage. I got one leg with no amps. And then all of a sudden, I'm looking at this thing. I'm trying to, because it's a 230 with a bastard leg. And I'm trying to figure this thing out. And I'm looking at it. All of a sudden it stops. It starts back up and it's running backwards. I said, bingo, there it is. So I take the back of my screwdriver. I clamp my clamp on the leg that has no amperage on. I start wailing on the thing, and sure enough, all of a sudden, boo! I got 5 amps. And then I checked my amps again, and all of them have dropped to 5.6 amps all across. So what's my problem, Carl? Tell them the problem.
Bad relay.
Well, I don't know. I would have said you would have had an open on one phase.
Well, right. That's exactly what happened. I lost the phase. So once I figured that out, I just took the backside of my screwdriver and beat on the Allen contactor.
Oh, okay. I thought you were beating on the motor. Well, that's what I would have looked for when the contactor is closed. If you read across the in and the out of each leg, if there should be very little voltage there because there should be no voltage drop. If one of them was reading high, then I would know I would have poor contact through that contactor or an open.
Well, that's the thing that gets you right there. I had perfect voltage running across all 3 legs, not a scintilla of difference. Perfect voltage, all 3 legs.
Okay, well, I'm not talking about measuring the 3 terminals at the top and the 3 terminals at the bottom. I'm talking about going when the contactor is closed from the top terminal to the bottom terminal of each leg. That way you're measuring the voltage drop across the contactor, and which should be very little. You might have a volt or something across. And then if you have one that's 5 volts or 10 or 20, then you know the contactor's not closing properly or there's something stuck in there or it's burnt.
Well, you totally lost me when you said 3-phase. But I'm going to bed. Good night, everybody. Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow. WA2E.
Okay, Doc. Good night. Sleep well.
Good night, Doc.
Well, that's what I would do, and not be in there. I can't tell. So what's the answer?
Well, okay. So I had good voltage across the top, across the bottom, and between all of them, and to ground, each one to ground. And the answer was I had half the contactor in the Allen Bradley contactor was burned off. So I had good enough connection to carry the voltage, but I didn't have good enough connection to carry the amperage. And that's the problem. And sometimes when you tested it, when it would close, it would just I had like this little anomaly, right? The motor would start right up, or it would go chug, 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 and then take off, you know? So there was a lot of things it was doing, but it all comes down to just a really ratted up contact that's been there for 40 or 50 years, and it would arc when it closed, right? So I had voltage, but I didn't have enough to sustain amperage. I didn't have enough, current capacity.
Okay, well that should have shown when you were reading from the top of the contactor to the bottom of the contactor, when through the contactor on each leg, when it had a load on it, you should have had voltage across one of them showing that it was high resistance or whatever, not drawing the current.
Yeah. I mean, they were all within a couple of volts. They were all pretty close. That's the thing. They were all. But then, so I take it all apart today, and sure enough, all the contacts were beat to hell. Right. So I had to rebuild the Allen Bradley contactor with new contacts. So that's part of the problem why it was hard to test that way, because all of them were bad, and they were all it was like up a volt here, down a volt there.
Well, I could have fixed it.
Yeah, you could have. You passed the test.
Well, didn't I pass the test?
No, it wasn't a relay.
Well, contactor relay, isn't it the same thing?
Well, it's a contact in the contactor. Yeah, but you said relay.
Well, a relay's a contactor. Same basic thing.
Do you guys not keep spares of those around?
I have modern starters. You can't get these old Allen Bradley starters anymore. But the reason I like these old Allen Bradley starters is because they're from the 70s, and the freaking things are just, bulletproof. So I've got a bunch of kits to rebuild them. Now, it took me about 2 hours to pull that thing completely apart and clean everything inside and put new contacts in it. It would have taken me about 25 minutes to change the starter out. But just because these things are rugged, and this is a dusty, nasty environment, and it's right in front of the kiln, so there's a lot of moisture in the area, and in the wintertime it's really, really cold, So I like using the old Allen Bradley stuff if I can keep it alive.
But you don't have any spare old stuff? You were down for 2 hours?
Oh no, we ran it through. I got it working that day. I just welded it with a screwdriver, got a contact closed up, and it was running okay. I was down today on Saturday. We were doing maintenance in the plant anyway, so that I rebuilt it today. But I have a whole slew, I've got a whole other cabinet full of these things that I keep and so yes, I have lots of spares. But I was down 2 hours today rebuilding this thing, because instead of just changing, if I were running and if I couldn't take the time to rebuild it, I would have just popped in a new one.
Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, that's usually the way I fix stuff too, only I use a big hammer.
All right, guys, I got to get up early tomorrow, so I'm dropping off. 73's to 1-0, W2MUR.
Sally.
See you, Mike.
73.
Probably going to 6 meters.
CQ 6 meters.
There's still a lot of water going over the waterfall on 6 meters.
I see little blips.
So, I should read this thing. I got a text message today, and I will not say who it's from. Now, this may be somebody that just listens, doesn't get on the air. This could be a text message from another toad. It could be a text message from anybody. You guys want to hear this text message?
Oh, absolutely.
It's about Ray.
Well, we should make sure he's listening.
He's listening. Ray, you're there.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the display to come back. I thought I had it, but I didn't.
You want to listen to this, and should I just take a break or what?
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
So there's one misspell or something that the phone is corrected, and I don't know what he was trying to say in one spot here. But anyway, quick observation. This is to me, so it says, a quick observation, Randy. For all the grief that Ray gets from talking from folks about talking on the net. I have observed when Ray talks and he speaks of facts. This is the part that gets goofy. Saves for a few personal, except maybe for a few personal opinions, and they're from him from time to time. Also, the amount of information he conveys when he talks is very high. Contrast this to others who seem to drone on in circular and repeating patterns, saying the same thing repeatedly. Add this to the frequent verbalization myths and lore with little backup. Facts over facts is a stark comparison to Ray. Oh boy. Our boy Ray has a bang to buck ratio about as high as you can get in my observation. This cannot exceed the bang of the buck ratio, of course. Oh, okay. So anyway, in my observation, hope is all is going well. So anyway, so somebody is a big fan. They're thinking that what Ray says is worth a lot more than what most people say.
Well, we hold Ray in the highest of esteem.
I wanted to try to read that, but anyway, I don't have my really good glasses on. But so Ray, that's from somebody that was unsolicited. I didn't say, hey, what do you think about Ray? There was no conversation ahead of time. That just showed up on my phone.
Yeah, well, I'm sure I know who wrote that.
Oh, really? What's her name?
That's not her. Okay, you want me to tell you?
No.
Okay, well, I was just going to say Bob, John, Devin, Timmy, and Mark.
You think it's all of them?
Oh, at least. Probably a lot more.
That was just one person that wrote it. The other guys, the guys that you just commented on always talk shit about you.
I'm still trying to figure out, hey, one of you brilliant geniuses with a great computer. I've lost my screen during transmit. When I go to transmit, it just freezes the screen. And I know it was something I did the other night when I was trying to get the shortwave thing back on, and I can't figure it out. So if you got nothing to do, just figure out how to get my transmitting screen back running again.
Do you have all your settings saved on a USB or a memory card or something? If you have, do a factory reset. Start from scratch.
No, the answer is no.
Ray?
Yes.
Would you like me to bring my on for you to borrow while you put your Kenwood back in to get fixed?
No, there's nothing wrong with it. I just pressed the wrong button.
Well, get yourself a memory card. If that one that I gave you will work, stick it in there, save your settings, and then do a factory reset. I had a couple of weird things happen with this, and I just went back to the factory and then loaded my settings back in, and it was fine. WG2E on the top.
KT2D, evening
WA3FPN.
KA3SVK.
KT2D. Just went dead.
Yeah, hey Ray, these radios just have too many adjustments not to take a chance on saving your settings.
Yeah, I just got to read, that's all.
Carl, what do they have? They have like a USB port that you can put a memory stick in and just save it there, or do you got to go through a computer?
Well, mine, you can either put a USB stick in, or you can put an SD card. The USB stick doesn't hold everything, but the SD card, you can have the new upgraded software. You can save your settings. You can save audio and screenshots and all that kind of stuff. So periodically, about once a month, I just save my settings. That way, if something happens, at least I can go back a month.
Yeah, what do they have, an SD slot in the radio?
Yeah, right in the front, and then there's two USB slots, too, for like a thumb drive.
Oh, I gotcha. All right, that's good.
Well, it's nice, you know. If you had the same radio as me, I could just bring my SD card, plug it in there, and it'd be like running my own radio, and then I could just put it back to you when I leave.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense because they're basically packed with microprocessors anyway. So yeah.
Well, anyway, I know Mike has left, but this thing about this Stewart Electric, that might be a nice kind of a get-together if we could work out something like that. I'd be happy to come and check it out.
And I'm back. I had to rescue a kid with a TV remote control.
Well, you know what else is down in that area? I don't know if you guys have ever been to at Rhinebeck across the river. They got the Rhinebeck Airdrome with the World War I planes that they fly.
You know, if we get to Kingston early enough, we could run over to PT Surplus and check that out. That's a great place.
Oh, I saw that on the web. That looked interesting.
Yeah, we've gone there. We've actually, as after breakfast, when we were just doing breakfast at the Kings Valley Diner, we would leave there and go over to PT Surplus.
So what do they have there, Randy? One of those places that has everything?
Has everything. Has all kinds of everything, and it depends on what day of the week it is and what time of the month it is or whatever. You know, just they have everything, and boxes and boxes of everything. So you just got to find the right box with what you're looking for.
Boy, that could be dangerous.
Yeah, they might have all kinds of braided wire. They have all kinds of switches. They have all kinds of sprockets and shivs and steel. They have all kinds of steel, which I liked because when I had to do a special welding project, somebody would tell me what kind of steel they wanted me to weld, and I would say, yeah, no problem, I can weld that. And I'd run over to PT Surplus and find it and clean it up, and I'd weld it. I'd practice, get my settings all set, and then I'd go to the job knowing how to weld that particular kind of steel.
I don't think they're open on Saturday because it says opening 9 a.m. on Monday.
Yeah, well, they're closed now. They're not open right now, but they were open this morning.
It says open to the public 6 days a week, 9 to 5.
Okay, that's right. It is Saturday. When you're retired, you get confused on what day it is.
Show off.
I get confused anyway.
Okay, so next Saturday they would be open.
Correct.
Wow, that might be worth getting there at 9 o'clock just to check that out before the picnic.
And it's close, too. It's not far from the picnic.
So, Carl, when I retire, my goal is to be like Crocodile Dundee and not even wear a watch.
Yeah, shave with a knife.
Yeah, I'll pass on that. I've shaved with a straight razor on occasion, but never a knife.
Whatever happened to that guy, Paul Hogan? Is he still even alive?
I don't know, but I'll check and see what his deal is.
Didn't he get into some kind of politically incorrect trouble or something years ago? Maybe just kind of lying low.
Looks like they have ham equipment there.
Sometimes they do. Yeah, they. It just depends on what they have at the time. There is no inventory. You know, it's not inventoried as a. They don't buy anything on purpose. Or how do you say it? Just whatever people bring in, they have.
Let's make the side trip.
Yeah, I'm looking at the pictures here on their Facebook page.
Oh, I'm sure that they have ham equipment there a lot. Every time I go there, there's somebody with ham radio antennas on their vehicle.
Well, you know, if you go to their Facebook page there, the first picture, they have something there for Ray.
What's her name?
I don't know. She doesn't have a name tag on.
So, you know, I totally forgot there was somebody trying to get in there earlier. I apologize. That was, I screwed up. Is there someone trying to get in there? No, I screwed that up. I told them to stand by and I ignored them. He's probably on 40 meters right now telling everybody how much of a jerk I am.
You're a jerk. Jerk.
Oh, wow. Jerk. Wouldn't be the first time somebody would say something like that about me.
W2KRY.
Hello, Randall.
What's happening?
I printed out that entire report. I put it into a 3-leaf binder. And I'm going to bring it to the picnic, and I'll give it to Ray so he can look it over.
Is that the one you're going to send me?
Do you want me to send you one?
Hello.
Was it a PDF or something?
Yeah, it's something. It's an email I got from Randy from Sherwood.
Yeah, email will be fine.
You have to understand, this is before Sherwood even releases this stuff.
It'll be handled with care.
Can we trust him, you think, Randy?
No, I don't trust anybody.
You trusted me to find a good home for that oscilloscope.
Just kidding.
It loves it here.
I knew it would.
I'm sending it to your RRCap, or RR.com.
That'll be good.
It's gone. Hey, Tootie, what are you running for a rig?
I have a Yaesu 1000 MP, FT1000 MP, and an 811H amplifier.
Okay, I was gonna offer you up a beautiful ICOM 7600 for sale. That is for sale.
7600, huh?
Fantabulous radio.
Well, you know, we can talk at the picnic, and you know, I just kind of had my sights on the 890, but you know, I'm flexible, as you know.
Yeah, it's a really good rig. I mean, the 7600 has been around now for a few years, and everybody that has them, they are just a hell of a good workhorse radio. You know, the great receiver, great audio, great everything. It does noise blankers second to none, and just is a phenomenal radio. And what happened is a friend of ours, a friend of mine, bought Ray's rig from him, and was going to set it up at his home. Well, this guy works around the clock, and he travels all over the country, and he just doesn't have time for ham radio. So he's going to sell his rig and his amplifier, which is a Commander 1250, single tube 3CX 800 amp. Does a kilowatt. I mean, it'll do 1,500 watts, but does a kilowatt clean with no sweat for the rest of your life.
and he's going to sell the whole package, right? So I'd like to see Toad Harbian get the rig. Now, what's going to happen is I'm going to trade the rig to back to Ray so he can have the 7600 that he used to own that's been modified for out of bands, and then my 7600 will be the one that somebody who buys, and that rig's never been modified out of bands. So it's a perfect, not just it's not a 6. It's not a 7, it's not an 8, it's a 10. Absolutely perfect rig. And if somebody wanted to buy it, especially if somebody wanted to buy the rig and an amp, that would be a really good acquisition for them.
Glenn is pooping out on us?
Yeah. I hate it. Carl, I hate it.
Wow, after all that driving.
If you saw the work that he did on his radio field and all that stuff, he handed me the radio plate the other day when I saw him. I said, "What's this for?" He goes, you might be able to use it." I said, "Why?" Oh, he goes, and anyway, it does whatever. He just can't. It's just not going to work for him. So he's bagging it. He's going to use remote maybe or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, that's too bad. Hey, maybe the X-ray beam like that 7600.
Well, I would pray that he would buy that thing because, Carl, you got to be honest with him. You hear how he sounds. You can't even hear him through the cracking of the microphone. That microphone, the only thing you should be done with that thing, oil hell, it's not worth the oil. Sit on the ground and just hit it with a sledgehammer.
Well, you know how it is, and this discussion has had before, is if you're friends with somebody, you can't tell them that their audio is bad. You got to just tell them it's great.
Well, that's not how it works here. If you're friends with somebody and their audio is bad, you owe it to your friend to tell them your audio sucks. Okay, that's how it works. That's what a real friend will say to their friend. Look, I got to tell you the truth. Your audio, something's the matter with it. We got to fix it.
We've been telling them that for the last year.
Let me see what I got laying around here for microphones. Maybe we can make an improvement. Maybe we could just rewire my SMA.
Why not just buy an MXL?
Carl, a Dixie cup and a string would be an improvement. You can't make a non-improvement. How do you say that? You can't decline the level of his audio.
Hey,
yes, sir.
So it's an HF and 50 meters. What's the out-of-band stuff? The 60 meters?
It does 60 meters. It was. Ask Ray about it. I'm going to go out in the kitchen. I got a bowl here. I got to put away, and Ray will tell you all about the 7600 and why it was modified and all that stuff. Be right back.
It's modified for general coverage, so it'll cover everywhere. But the regular radio covers 60 meters.
Yeah. Okay. But you can receive everywhere, right?
Yes, it receives everywhere. It just doesn't transmit out of the ham bands, and it'll transmit anywhere on 60. It's not channelized either. You can tune 60 with the one that's not modified. With the one that's modified, it'll transmit on anywhere from 1.5 to 30.
I gotcha. Oh, hey, Carl.
Yes?
So Paul Hogan currently lives in Santa Barbara, and as of 19, he's still active doing stuff, producing and business stuff. Oh, and it says he's a laborer. So that might have been his earlier job. Anyway, but as of 2015, his net worth was 28 million US.
Oh, okay. So he's not dead.
And he's 79, so he's, I guess he's comfortable. The 28 million should last him a few more years.
I should hope so.
by the way, Tootie, I mean, if you went from the 1000, which I happen to really think is a great rig, but if you went to the 7600, it'd be like dying and going to heaven.
Can it work full break-in with CW?
I would imagine it's a modern ham radio. So what modern rig can't?
Just kidding. I'm just asking.
Are you being I don't want to swear on the air, Tootie, but don't make me. I just tell you, you're getting close.
I got to be able to make my traffic nets.
Yeah, you'll be able to do it. Okay.
I figured. It's got a hell of a display on it.
It's beautiful. Who's the WYM?
WBA, WYS. That is the show.
You got to have some highs. You're real flat. Oh, you definitely have to have compression on these. Absolutely. You're a long way from have too much. It's a lot better, Joe. A lot better. I don't know if Ray's hearing you or not. He's got some issues. He's been around with a program on his Kenwood, and he's trying to get it figured out. So he might not be really paying attention, Joe. He's going to convert your SB220 for 160. And you're going to have it just for 160 at that point? Your SB220. I think you're going to be disappointed with that end result. I have a feeling.
That's so far as
I think the 811H will put out more power than the SB220 on 160. I don't think there's enough room in that amplifier for 160. Yeah, you're 9, a little bit over, sometimes 10 over, so yeah, not terrible. What's your gain set on your radio, the audio gain?
1 o'clock.
Yeah, turn it up higher. My question is D104 off. Is it turned all the way off? Yeah, because it seems like it's a little restricted, and I think it sounds like it's just turned down a little tiny bit too much. You're way better now than you were, Joe. Right now, it's the best so far. I apologize. That was my fault. I got excited. You sound way better than you did so far. This is the best I've heard it so far. Like I said, Ray's working on... Ray, are you there?
Yes.
Can you hear Joe?
Yes.
He's saying hi to you. He wanted you to say hi to him.
Oh. Joe, power running. Yeah, I'm having an extremely hard time hearing you. I'm only hearing about 15% of what you're saying.
back anytime. I definitely want to know. I want you to come back for sure when you get the SP220 back and you get that on 160. I want to see how that works out. Well, we'll see, right? You'll be the proof of the pudding.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
All right, pal. 73. Back to net. KB2ZVP on the 22.
There's an ICOM 7850 for sale on eBay.
Yeah, it's a nice radio. It's the same radio as this one, but it's got gold knobs.
I'm thinking, boy, it's $14,000 difference. There must be some wicked difference there.
Well, I got this rig for $12,000, and we got a really great deal on it. Maureen bought it for me from HRO, and the owner gave her a great deal. And right now you can buy it for $12,400. But when that 7850 came out, it was like $18,000. And that rig's been on sale for a long time for $20,000. It's exactly the same rig as this rig, except for it literally has gold knobs and has gold inlays on the side instead of silver inlays on the side. It was a special rig. And the guy that you hear us talk about, Uric Road, the super smart, receiver guy, he has the ICOM 7850, which is serial number all zeros and ends with 1. He's got the first 7850 ICOM made.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
Now that would be a radio to have. That would be a cool. Have him sign that baby, you better believe it. I'll tell you something right now. This radio this is why I got this radio, because I absolutely found no fault with my 7600. To me, that was the perfect radio for me. It was just so intuitive. It worked perfectly. And when I was looking at buying a new rig and thinking about the 7610 and the new technology and all that, I knew that this rig here is very similar to the 7600. That's why I went this route. I spent an awful lot more money and bought a rig that was a little bit better than the 7600.
Doing $300 just to ship that radio.
Yeah, it costs a lot to ship it.
Is that the eBay one?
Yeah, I drive to Brooklyn for $300. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't look at any of the details. I just saw the price tag. And, it looks like a nice radio, but, yikes.
So I had this big discussion the other day on one of the Facebook, not the Facebook, but one of the forums. And a guy was, kind of ragging on me a little bit because we spent so much money on this radio. So I said to him, what are you talking about? You think it's a lot of money? He goes, yeah, I think it's way too much money. And he was comparing it to you can go to a Hamfest and buy a 101, a Yaesu 101, and you can spend for $150, $200, and I can do anything you can do with your radio. So, I didn't get into all the why he was so colossally wrong, but then we talked, and other people were saying about it's a lot of money, and so then I talked about, I said, well, wait, hold on a second, think about it. I said, if you smoke cigarettes, you got $8,000 a year in cigarettes. I don't smoke cigarettes. If you've got a Harley, you got $30,000 in a motorcycle that you can ride 6 months out of the year, and if you're like me, you work too much, you got 6 months, I forget, those 24 days, like on a weekend I could ride the thing, and I work Saturdays, that brings it down to 12, and I work a lot of Sundays, and I got a honey-do list, so that brings it down to 6. All these things that cost so much money that we could be doing, and with the money that
we spend on this radio, yeah, it's a lot of money, but you know what? I use it every single night. On weekends, I'll use it every single weekend. It's a phenomenal radio. It's just a super duper radio. So, yeah, you can spend a little less money, or a lot less money rather, and have a perfectly good radio. But when it comes to spending money on the hobby, if you don't have anything else, I mean, I do two things. I work, and I come home and I work some more here. Or then I spend a little time on the ham radio at nighttime and on the weekends, you know?
Well, yeah, and when you get done with all of that, in the final analysis, who cares what the hell that guy thinks? His opinion counts exactly dick about what you do with your money.
I try to say that exactly the same, not quite exactly the same way, but I try to get that point across exactly. And a lot of people jump in there and say that, they'll say, well, listen, what's it matter to you how much money he spent on his radio? Just because you haven't achieved what he has, and all that, whatever. I don't want to get into that, but anyway, I'm really happy I bought the radio. I like it a lot, and I'm telling you, if you're interested in the 7600, I would work really hard to make sure you got that.
So anyway, Bob.
Yes, sir.
I'm dying to know. I guess I just realized tonight that you've got the same rig sitting on your desk as I do. What is your 4-4 menu setting?
Let me check, because I can't recall off the top of my head. Hold on a second.
Yesu, 4-4 menu.
Brandy, you're done talking about yourself for a while. Just relax. Go get a glass of wine or something.
Listen, that's a secret menu that only the owners know about. See, the thing is, you'd have to be able to stop me, and that's never going to happen.
It worked. You just stopped.
I'm just pausing, waiting for your answer.
I'm going to try to read what my 4-4 menu setting is. I hope I don't kill my display like Ray did.
Why would you kill your display?
One of those IC7850s on there, and that one's only 19.5 with free local pickup.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
You mean they're not going to charge you to come pick it up?
What's that?
They're not going to charge you to come help. They're not going to free local pickup. They're not going to charge you because you got to come pick it up.
That's correct, but they're in Florida.
Hey, Mike.
Yes.
I just got in here a little while ago. You know how you can tell when bad Mike's into the sauce? Just wondering how many glasses someone else has had tonight.
Say that again?
Is Rand bonkers tonight or what?
I can't comment on that.
Okay, there you go.
No, this is straight lemon juice. This is, I'm just pooped out. I've had a really long day and worked too long in the sun, I think, today. But maybe I'm getting silly, but I'm just pooped.
How old are the lemons?
The lemons were not old. They were just, Maureen put the lemons in the ice water, so I don't know. Hopefully there's nothing wrong with them.
So now you're drinking lemon poop?
Yeah, I drink water every night with lemon in it. I like it.
Gotcha.
So basically it's sugarless lemonade?
Yeah, maybe, right? I guess that's a good way to look at it. KB2's MVP at the bottom.
WA3FPN.
You ought to put some maple syrup in there. There you go. W2KRY.
WG2E. I'm dying to hear about this 4-4 menu.
Okay, Randy, W2KRY.
Go ahead, KT Duty.
Yeah, it's off. I remember I went through it and listened to my audio, and anyway, that one is set it off.
Well, this is the world-famous Toad Harbor Net, and obviously, comrade in arms, I love you like a brother, but I've always thought your audio was, how they say in New Hampshire, a bit harsh.
That could be my voice. What do you have yours set at?
I think we settled on 4.
Okay, yeah, let me go, because it could, so I was listening to it on the monitor with earphones, so, that's where it is. But thanks, appreciate the feedback, and I will relook at that. It's good to know, because, I sound fine to me, but then again, I don't really hear me, so there you go. Thanks, KT2D.
No, you will cut through any DX pileup for sure with that audio. It's just a little. I love your stories, this, that, the other, and no disrespect at all, but it's kind of tiring to listen to after a little while because it's so pointed. Kind of like when Ray does his soft and hard thing. So I just pulled mine up, and it's on 3. EDSP is on 3, which is, let me look, lows and highs. I think I put around with it on 4, and Randy said no. So we left it on 3, and I dealt with some of the offsets further down. We could talk about those things if you're interested. I can give you some settings, but everybody's different. Everybody's voice is different. I've got the what do I have? The PR80. Yeah, no, the PR40. So there you go.
Just changed
food for thought. Whatever.
I don't know if I have to do anything else other than turn the main VFO knob to it. But anyway, this is 3.
And I must have just covered everything you set up.
Okay, this is 3. I just changed it to 3, see if that makes any difference or if I have to reset it or something.
Go back the way you were.
Okay, this is the way it was.
The way it was is better.
And this is 3.
Yeah, 3 is not good for you, that's for sure. You'd have to reset that whole radio for that.
Okay, so harshness must come from the fact that I grew up in Boston, and so I just have that harsh, sharp that comes through, and for you guys in central New York, it just must sound very almost broguish to you, so yeah, I'll try to be a little more mellifluous.
You sound like a big meanie.
No, it's mechanical noise.
Gotcha.
It's I've always told Tootie, this is his audio. When I'm in a mobile, boy, do I appreciate his audio because I can hear him no matter where I'm at. He might be an S5, but he sounds better than anybody else that's 20 over.
Okay, so here's number 2. Does that make any difference?
Yeah, it's worse.
Okay, it's back to off.
10. Did you say 10?
No, 2. Do-A.
Oh yeah, 2 is DX. That's no good. FM might be number 4 might work and it might not. Once again, you got to go back into the offsets, the 8.8 menu, and roll through that whole thing. And if you're interested, I can write it all down and either shoot it to you or tell it to you later sometime.
Yeah, this is 4.
A little softer. What kind of mic are you using?
It's the Yaesu MD100 desk mic.
Oh, okay. Isn't there a switch or two on the bottom of that?
He's probably got it on high emphasis. Go back to your normal way, Tootie, and just drop off high emphasis.
So the high emphasis is on, and the low cut is on setting number 1.
I doubled. My suggestion would be to go back to the way it normally was and shut the high emphasis off and try that.
Okay, here's how it was with the high emphasis off.
That's not good. Put it back. You know what you do? Just go back to the way you normally run it and turn the mic gain down just a touch.
Okay, this is down a little bit more.
Yeah, leave it like that.
Yeah, that may be it. I may have been trying to push to get more power out.
We all want to see our meters move.
What's a meter?
Hello. I'm getting there. I'm close, but I don't have it right yet, I don't think.
What would it take if you were to just do a master reset? Would that help?
Yeah, okay, it's working now. I got it. I don't know how I got it, but I got it.
Well, I'd rather be lucky than good any day.
Right, okay. It was something I did the other night when I was trying to get the thing into the shortwave listening mode. You know damn well these radios are smarter than the people running them. And Bob?
Yes, sir.
Listen to your buddy Ray, okay? Buy the Kenwood.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's just simple. You know, if you want the best, you want the Kenwood. If you're willing to, the only thing I do not like about the 7600 after you've had a better radio is the display. The display is just not as good. It's really unfortunate because the 7610 has the nicest display probably of all the radios. Unfortunately, the radio is not that good. So the Kenwood's the next best thing. So I mean, what it boils down to is money. If money's not an issue, then buy the Kenwood. If money's an issue and you want to buy a 7600, it would be a big step up from the radio you have.
Hold on. Think of something, Ray. What you just said. Just think of that statement. He's running a 1000 MP with no display, no waterfall, no nothing.
I understand that, and without a doubt, he'd be thrilled to have a 7600. But back again to what I said, for some people, they're going to have a very hard time affording a Kenwood 890. If that's the case, and they can afford the 7600, buy the 7600 without any doubt. But if money's not an issue, definitely buy the Kenwood.
Exactly, $4,000 versus $1,000 or a little less than $1,000. You got to think about that. I mean, I struggle when people say to me, "Is your radio worth that much money?" No, I don't think it is. I don't think it's worth anywhere near that much money, because you can buy a pretty good radio with the 890. The 101 is, I'm sure, is going to be a great rig, but for that menu system on that radio alone, I would never buy one. But the 7600 is a rock solid, just a great performer, and for $1,000 or less, it's very hard to beat that radio.
Well, I agree 100%. I mean, there's absolutely no doubt what you just said is accurate. But then again, if you really want the best, you want the Kenwood. And if you look at the price versus all-around performance, the Kenwood is probably the only way to go.
I think if you want the best, you want the 101. But then you got to deal with that menu craziness.
Well, that's the whole thing, and that radio really isn't scienced out. So, you might very well end up buying that radio and then finding out in the long run that radio's got issues. So, I really wouldn't buy the Yaesu until it's been out at least a year.
Yeah,
and look at the Kenwood. The Kenwood was out at least a year when I bought one, and that didn't help at all.
You mean the ICOM?
Yes, excuse me, the ICOM, yeah. The ICOM was out at least a year when I bought one, and again, that didn't help at all. It's going to take a year from today before that radio is viable.
Well, that's the offer anyway. So a grand or less for a 7600, or 4 times more money. Well, I guess you can get the 890 now for a little bit less, right? Like $3,500 or $3,200, something like that. So the 890, no doubt, is a very good radio, but I can assure you that the 7600 would be. It's just a phenomenal radio, and to buy a radio like that's quality for a grand or less, yeah, that's a great. And if you don't have any problem spending $3,000 or $4,000, then buy a better radio. But if you want to step up from the 101 or from the 1000, and you want to spend $1,000, bingo, there you go.
Is that what it'll be going for, Randy?
Yeah, a little less than $1,000, I think.
Yeah, that'd fit right in with the X-ray beam. I got to talk to him about that.
Yeah, please do, because I want this radio to be sold to a Toad Harvey. I'm thinking I may buy it myself. I don't have the money to throw $1,000 at a ham radio or $900 at a ham radio right now. I just don't. I got too much going on. But before somebody else that's not a Toad Harvey and buys that radio, I'll buy it myself.
Hey, did you get any work done on your antenna?
Yeah, I did. I got the holes re-drilled. I got the big plate made up. I got the 1-inch rods, the 3-foot long 1-inch rods. I bought a new mag drill. I didn't buy a new one. I bought a used one from a guy. This is the greatest deal in the world. So anyway, I'll tell you about that. But so I got a lot done. Tomorrow morning I'm going to pour the concrete. I got the frame all made, the 5x5 pad made. The holes are re-drilled. I had to clean the holes all out. I got the 7/8 rebar driven into the ground, and tomorrow I'll pour the concrete.
Hey Randy, it's a mag drill? Is that a make?
It's a magnetic drill. You turn on a switch and it has a magnet. And it holds it in position, and then you can drill it. And I use slugger cutters, and it's the nicest way to drill a hole. I'll send you a picture.
Is it a hammer drill?
No. This is into a 1/2-inch steel plate. It's just a magnetic. It's a drill press, basically. And it's magnetic. You can clamp it right to a beam or something.
Oh, I gotcha. All right, I'm with you. Yep. Okay.
And it's strong enough to allow you cranking the drill in?
Oh yeah, you could grab a hold of the thing and it drills upside down, and this thing probably weighs 55 pounds.
As long as you got it on a thick enough piece of metal, it's going to stick there.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to use this thing on a car hood. It's clamped to a 1/2-inch piece of steel, 1/2-inch thick, and it makes the nicest holes you'll ever see.
Hey, so let me get the story straight on the 7600. Glenn's is going back to Ray's. Ray's is going back to you, and yours is the one that's going to be sold.
That's right. Ray wants his back because it's been modified for other bands. My radio never was, and but my radio's been updated. I think his is updated now too. They're really identical radios, and he just, Ray asked me to give him his back because it's been modified. So I agreed to that, as long as I could sell the other radio, because it really belongs. It's Glenn. But I know Glenn well enough. He wouldn't care as long as I sold it and got some of the money back.
Okay, I just wanted to know the backstory.
A lot of people don't want radio modified for other bands.
Yeah, both radios are perfect. They're like brand new radios. There's no issue with either one of the radios, so it doesn't matter which one you get, Yes, of course. As a matter of fact, I think Glenn just ordered, what did he order? An MXL? Oh, what's competition in this woods? Sorry, bud.
You know, for that price, that's very little more than like Icon 7.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to get a bidding war going. This is a phenomenal radio that works almost as good as this radio that I have. I spent a lot more money on. And I would love to have one of the tow arbiter guys, and I can pick it up. I can have it, and I can bring it next weekend too, by the way.
Well, if it doesn't work out, you get in a bind. Let me, my first goal is the Kenwood. I'm going to stay with that, but to replace the Icon that I have may work out. So, let's keep in touch on it, Randy. If it's going to go, if your other planes don't work, we can still work. Almost sounds like the triangle, the rum slaves triangle, the way these things are moving around.
You have a 718?
Yes, I do.
Right, well, that's not even close to the radios that we're talking about.
Well, I didn't know that. No, the only thing, when he was saying the 7600, I was thinking, 3,500 dollars. And when he said 1,000, I thought we were talking about a different radio.
Yeah, okay, well, you should unload that Icon you got. Anybody will buy it or whatever they give you for it. You're not a very good radio.
Yeah, but I don't like to say that in front of it. I don't like to hurt its feelings.
It's a pretty poor radio, let's be honest.
Hey, but you're getting whatever, right? I needed it.
Well, sure, yeah. I mean, I used to, have a 440, and I was pretty happy with that radio. But I mean, in today's available radios, it's not very good as compared to the new rigs, that's for sure.
Nothing, not close. The only correlation was going.
Where do they go?
I'm going to go upstairs, but catch you all tomorrow or the next day, whatever. WG2E. Well, now, hold on a second. Why do you say that? I'll see you tomorrow the next day. You know you're going to be in here tomorrow. Well, sometimes I don't. And you know that song, George Thorogood, don't you? Yeah. Well, when he's talking about paying the rent, I'll give it to you tomorrow the next day. I don't know. I didn't know you were going. I didn't go to that road. There. I'll just shut up now. Well, we'll see you tomorrow. The next day, maybe. We'll see you. Hey, you know that song, one bourbon, one whiskey, one beer? You know what I'm talking about? Hey, Carl? One bourbon, one beer, one shot. Yes, I know this song well. Okay, tomorrow the next day. I don't know.
Hey, Carl?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, she's funny. Now you funny, too.
Thanks a lot. Good night, all. WG2E. You never know what goes through a person's mind.
No, you never do. I'm going to head out. Well, not yet. I do. I'm going to go readjust my feet and make sure everything's okay.
Do you think it's not?
Did you do any more work on that?
Yeah, but I actually took the feed line off the ground and navigated it.
Well, didn't you take down the other Holy antenna?
I took down the other inverted L, but not the helical yet.
Your feed line was laying on the line. You were trying to measure it.
I was measuring it. I was talking to you guys when you said what did you do, because you're stronger, what I actually did was lift the feed line off the ground. There was one section of it that I forgot. Get called away, it was on the ground, and I had to lift that up.
Yeah, you can't put that feed line on the ground. It's got to be at least a foot off the ground.
Yeah, well, it is now.
Okay, well that's certainly going to make a difference. And the big thing I want to see is getting that amp meter and see what kind of balance you have on the feed line, and if you can get it balanced, put more ground under it.
Yes, I'm interested in that too. So that'll be come this week. So I'll how it turns out.
Is it going to come tomorrow, the next day?
Geez, I don't know. I saw a thing, and I didn't get a shipping thing yet, but I'll, at least when I checked my email, it didn't say that it had shipped yet.
Yeah, he missed it, Randy.
Do you need a meter, Bob?
What's that, Randy?
Do you need a meter?
I was just going to get one of those balanced amp meters.
Oh, okay. I've got a cream puff of a CN801 Daiwa.
Oh, okay. Thanks. That's nice of you. But I just wanted to do this to see what if there was any imbalance or how much of an imbalance there was in the feed line, because balanced line to essentially an unbalanced antenna, or probably unbalanced antenna.
Gotcha.
So how you feeling, Bob, anyway? How's things going with you?
Oh, good. Yeah, this is the first day I really kind of felt back to being myself. So, I don't know what it was, but, I think I told you Monday, about noontime, I was just feeling just tired, and you know how you can tell when something's coming on. And then so I went home, and then, slept most of the afternoon. By 6 o'clock at night, I could tell I had a fever. Deborah came home, and so it was funny. She measured my fever, and it was like 104.5, and I could see her face, and so I knew it was. I can tell when my fever's above 103. I can just tell when it gets high like that. And so I said, I better go in and get checked just to make sure. Anyway, but it broke pretty quick, so it sounds like it was just a flu-like thing, but it just, for 3 days I was just wiped up, just zero energy at all, but now feeling good today. Thanks, Randy.
Hey, 104.5 at your age, that's almost dead.
Yeah, it's getting, it was actually pushing 105, but it was a very short period of time, but I knew it was, I can tolerate high fevers, but not much higher than that. So, but you should have seen her face. I knew it was high when I saw her face, but it was almost worth it just for that comic relief. And then, it came down to like 102 or something for a while, and then dropped back down. So anyway, so that was just odd as anything to spike up that high that fast.
Yeah, that's astronomical for somebody your age. You only see young kids get 104.5 fever. That's the highest I ever had, was 104.5, maybe touching close to 105. And I was young, and I didn't feel. I mean, I even at that very young age, I was sick. But if my temperature goes above 103.5 now, I am really, really wiped. So let me ask you this: when you saw the 104.5 or almost 105, did you take some medication right away, some aspirin to get it down?
I wasn't going to. I was going to let my natural healing ability take care of it, but I thought, this is getting in the red zone here. So yes, I took 2 ibuprofen, and that hit it pretty quick.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. You might have had brain damage.
How can you tell?
I was just going to say, you talk here on the Toad Harbor net, you'd be able to get by with average brain damage. Nobody'd even notice.
Yeah, you guys start making sense to me. And I'm going, hey. But no, I've had, the highest I've ever had was pushing, I had heat stroke once in the Army. That's a story that you'll enjoy later on. But it was high. When guys grabbed my arm to lift me up, they said it just hurt their hands how hard it was. So, yeah. But it was just odd, out of the blue. Came out of the blue.
So this may be a good time to bring up the fact that all Toad Harbor members in good standing have something written down someplace where if anything were to happen to you, your equipment gets turned into the head of the Toad Harbor net.
Yeah, it has Randy's number on it, and to just come and just clean the place out. Radios and firearms.
Hey, Bob, just tell him, in case you die tomorrow, the 7600 is his.
Yes, that's it.
Well, we'll make sure that the missus gets, the brunt of the money. That's for sure.
She wouldn't want it. She'll be too busy counting all the other stuff that I got stashed away. So yeah, if she can handle it in her bereavement.
Ray will be rich.
That sounds great. Hey, have you got a real small 4.5 single stack?
Go to the Toad Harbor. That'd be perfect.
I'm looking for a real small 45 single stack, but I'm having trouble getting them here in Massachusetts because we live in a jerk-off state.
I have a nice Smith & Wesson. It's a DC 1911, really nice. It's actually has a scandium alloy frame, but it's nice. It's like on the Commander kind of thing. Yeah, it's 3/4 of an inch shorter than a regular 45.
Oh, that's way too big. I want a 45 that's the same size. Tonight I went out and just for the hell of it, I carried a Government 380. Ever see a Colt Government 380?
Yeah, it's a 1911 380. Is that it, or are we talking a different one?
No, it looks exactly like a 45, except it's very small and it's very flat. And I stuck that in my pocket tonight. And they actually make 45s that are just about that same size.
Yeah, my friend down in Alabama has one with like a 3-inch barrel.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about, 45 with a 3-inch barrel. But, I was talking to a woman in a gun store a couple days ago or whatever, and she said, the FBI went back to 9mm, and she said, we don't sell any 45s anymore. Very rarely we sell a 40. She said, but everybody's back to 9s because according to the FBI, the performance of the bullets now is so good that the 9 is very adequate. Do you believe that?
No. Only if you're being attacked by blocks of gelatin.
That's what I say. I've got a P10 45, which is a really small 45. I mean, it's very small. It's about the same size as the 380, but it's thicker. But that's a very rare gun here in Mass because they're not, you can't. I could sell it, but you can't buy another one. But that's a very nice gun. And then I have a P13, which is a pair. They're both pair of ordnance, but I have a P13, and I love that gun. That's the Combat Commander, but it holds 13 rounds. That's a beautiful gun.
Yeah, the 9mm that I always felt very comfortable shooting is the Browning High Power, with L9A1, was a standard British military issue for years and years. That's a nice gun. 9mm, but for 9mm, that's very nice.
Well, if you read that old book by Colonel Hatcher there, the book with the relative stopping power, some guy wrote it up, and some guy wrote a book. It was back in the 70s. I would love to get a copy of that. It was some guy that lectured military and police on firearms, and he wrote this book, and he had that Hatcher table in there. And according to Hatcher, and they've extrapolated some of the newer rounds, but they say even a 44 Magnum does not have the stopping power of a 45.
Was that out of Hatcher's notebook?
No, because there was no 44 mag when Hatcher was writing that up. So the 45 was by far the king of the handguns back then. But, you know, they've extrapolated a couple of the new rounds, like a 9mm and a 40 and a 45 into that thing. And they say that the only two cartridges that are at the top of the line are the 45 Auto ACP and the 45 Long Colt, which I have both.
Yeah, the 45 Long Colt. Is that the old black powder cartridge?
Yes, but of course it's not black powder anymore.
No, that one there that was one of my favorite cartridges. But yeah, and you look at all of the stuff that was done to replace the 45. It was all done to get a gun that's easy to shoot, and then the stopping power was kind of a collateral thing that they tried to bring up to the 45 by doing some other things. Well, you can carry them around, you know, the deeper magazine and all this other stuff, but you know, the basic thing wasn't anything wrong with the inherent power of the 45. It was people had a hard time shooting it. And yeah, there's probably some argument that it didn't go through steel plate, but what the hell are you shooting at steel plate with a handgun for anyway? So anyway, hard to beat it. Hard to beat it.
You know, I never saw one iota of difference between a 45 Auto and a 9mm Auto. To me, personally, I'd much rather shoot the 45.
I haven't shot 9mm that much, you know. A couple of times on the range to familiarize with a Beretta and a Smith & Wesson, but that's it. For most of my time, all of my shooting's been with a 45, or a 38 Special.
Yeah, give me the 45 any day of the week, even in the 45 Long Colt. The only cartridge that's probably going to perform as good as those is the 357 mag in that Model 19 with the right bullet in it. That'll probably give you the same kind of performance. And I can tell you this, at long range, the 357's even better.
Hey, Ray?
Yeah.
Have you ever looked at or held or shot the Glock 36?
Which is what caliber?
45.
No, I have not.
Single stack, short, compact. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah, I really don't like Glocks. I don't like the trigger on them. It's a very, you know, I like the old 45. Single action, you cock back the hammer and you just you touch the trigger and it goes off.
Well, you wanted something small print, so there you go.
Well, that's true. I understand it's small, but there are companies that make the small 45s. Like I said, I have one. Unfortunately, it's a double stack, but it holds 10 rounds too.
So your 45 Colt and your 357 Magnum, those were the two guns Patton carried. Carried a 357 and a Colt. You know, single action Frontier model, or the Frontier model or Peacemaker, not sure, but it was a single action.
Right, well, I don't know him, you know, I figure a guy like him would carry the double action because they were around by then. They actually made them way back, the double action 45 Long Colt, but that's an absolutely magnificent gun. If I was Patton, and, you know, it didn't matter what kind of gun I carried and who saw it, that's what I would carry. I'd carry two guns. I'd carry the 40. Well, actually, that's a real good combination. The 45. He should be carrying a 40 high capacity 45 and a 357 mag. That would be a pretty good all around deal.
Yeah, no wonder the Germans were afraid of him.
Yeah, well, he was a pretty special guy. Unfortunately, there's the classic though. Really good warrior, and yet he doesn't get the 5 stars because he steps on too many toes.
Yeah, they a lot of them thought of him as an anachronism even in the World War II era. It was kind of like a medieval chivalry, knight of old.
If I had it to do all over again in the Mideast, in hindsight is always 20/20, and one DVL. And for whoever wrote that letter to Randy, here's going to be a really profound statement I'm going to make. In the first war in the Gulf, when Schwarzkopf was running the show, he should have went all the way to Baghdad. He should have told George Bush to go pound sand and just went right down that road, killed everybody on the road to death there, and went right to Baghdad and found Saddam. And they should have done the same thing, had a mock trial, brought him out on the hangman stand, put a rope around his neck, sprung the door, but have it rigged so the rope was actually attached to a harness or something, and a mock hanging. And then you pull him back up, you take the rope off his neck, and you say, okay, listen, you go back to running your country. You keep everybody in line. We're not going to kill you this time, but just remember what happened. And you know what? We would have been 1,000 times ahead of where we are now.
Yeah, the old Douglas MacArthur. Okay, so you went fast there. Eh? What led it to Randy? I must have been away when that was discussed.
Oh, I don't know. Go ahead, Randy, if you want to tell him, go ahead.
I just told Ray that I had a really nice text message today from somebody. I didn't want to say who, and I read part of it, and that's all. Just I had a very nice text message today, and I thought he should hear about it.
Well, nice of you. I didn't know what was going on.
Well, the thing is, I hope I don't piss off the textee, but I concur. I can't honestly say for myself, I can't say, I'm blowing my own horn, but I concur 100% with him, because damn well that I have talked to you several times in the last month about the CB-ishness of what's going on here. And that's, I think, what the guy is basically talking about.
Well, okay, you compare it to CB. Nobody else gets on CB, so we don't talk about CB. But, yeah, Ray, you have to understand, there's a lot of people here, a lot of different personalities, and and you got to accept that, okay? Just like I always tell people that complain about you that, you know what, you're here, you're going to stay, and that's just accept it or leave. It's just how it is. There's a lot of people that check in here. You think about all the people that come through here at nighttime, and you just have to be accepted, of the people that come through here, and that's just how it is. And some guys stay for hours, and some guys stay for minutes. Hopefully, the guys that stay for hours, well, let's face it, we wouldn't have them stay here for hours if they were all, not interesting. But it's just how it is. And you always say, well, it's like CB. Well, I don't know how CB is nowadays, because I haven't been on CB in 20 years.
Well, it's 1,000 times worse than you could ever imagine. It's so bad that I can't even put it into words. So, yeah, it's never as bad as here. But the problem is there's a few nights where, boy, I'll tell you, it seems that the people here, some people here are really out of control. They're just going nuts.
Well, you're going to have people come in here, and some people cut up a little bit and have a little bit more. Friday night, it was just crazy in here for a while, but it is what it is. But that's you heard people on 40. There's people on 40 meters. There's people on 75 meters. There's people on 60 meters that all know about here because they come here because it's enjoyable to them. So, you know what? It's okay. And you heard Jeff talk about how it's the bar, right? So, it's all walks of life that come through here, and some nights are just a little silly, and some nights aren't. But and some nights are freaking boring, you know, and just how it is, you know. But I mean, there's people that appreciate you, and I think that somebody that wrote what they wrote just appreciate, you know, the kind of person you are, and some people don't. Trust me, I get a lot more mail that people don't appreciate you than that do appreciate you, and I always say that it's the same thing. You know, you're my friend. You've been my friend for a long time, and you know, and you just have to understand you. That's all. You just talk about a lot of people. That's the problem with it.
Well, just remember this, and I think you'll agree 100% with this versus me, you, and certainly Bob. When the bullets are flying, all those other people would run and hide, and they'd be gone, and you'd never see them again. And you know that all three of us would. Well, that's the thing you gotta look for. Was crazy. She's still 1,000 times more sane than anybody else I've gone out with in the last or run into in the last 5 years. It was a real pleasure being with her because she is, like I said, now she's 40. She's 39, but she's still 1,000 times better than anything else I run into.
You know, and it's something that pisses me off too. Why don't you tell me anymore when you're going to go out with these people? I mean, you just go out on your own. You don't even tell me.
Well, I thought about calling you like I usually do with my cell phone, but we were just so engrossed in a really great conversation and going back and forth. There wasn't time to dial the phone.
I was going to call you on your cell phone, too, by the way. I thought, he's probably out having a good time. I'll just leave him be.
You should see the house they bought, her and her boyfriend. They bought this freaking house. It's 4,500 square feet, almost 5,000 square feet. Can you believe it?
Wow. Okay, so either it's a colossal dump or it's a really nice place. There's generally not too many middle of the roads there. So what is it?
It's a house that was vacant for 4 years, just like you'd expect. 4 years. It's in rough shape. I think they paid $230,000 for it. I think she said $230,000. It's about 4,500 to 5,000 square feet. I was walking through it upstairs and downstairs. It's like you could get lost. I'm not exaggerating. You could get lost in it. It's 3 times the size of my house. It's got it's a good when they get if they get it fixed. In other words, I don't know. It's so complicated with what's going on with them. You buy the house, the bank gives you $230,000. They force you to take a certain basically person that fixes houses. What do they call those people? Not builders. What's the word for it?
A person that fixes houses, a contractor?
Yeah. They force you to take like a certain grade of contractor that has an impeccable record. That's what they're doing now. And one guy's the house has been all scraped down. The paint must have been peeling. The house has been all scraped, half the paint's off it, and they're having a contractor to come in and paint it. He scraped it and he's painting, and then the walls are ripped open in spots because pipes were frozen and so forth and so on. But I'll tell you what, if they did this house right, it's going to be something else. And the other thing that was remarkable is that Sturbridge. I haven't been out there in, 10 years anyway, 10, 12, 14 years. That's a metropolis now. It's incredible. It makes Wilbraham look like a pile of dung. There's, restaurants, and it's like a big Northampton. It's like Northampton. It's actually I'd say it's about the size of Northampton, and but it's stretched out longer, and they live up this beautiful road. It's just a beautiful scenic road. You go zigzags through the countryside about 3 or 4 miles off the main drag, and they're up on a little hill there. Oh my God, what a beautiful place to live.
Boy, I'll tell you, I can remember when I was a kid in grade school, we'd go out to Sturbridge Village for a field trip, and I remember just riding in woods for a long period of time to get there. And I haven't been to Sturbridge, I go by there on the Mass Pike, but that's amazing. So even there, that's grown up.
It's not like that at all now, Bob. It's just a booming metropolis. I mean, the main drag is just loaded with hotels and motels, and Christ, the restaurant we went to is it's probably on, I'm guessing, Christ, it's got to be on 4 or 5 acres of land, and the building is huge. There's like they were having a wedding there, probably 150, 200 people. There's 2 dining rooms. We ate at the upstairs dining room. There's one downstairs. The menu, I wasn't too thrilled about the menu. It's very, very old menu. They had no lobster thermidor. They didn't have any of the they had all the regular stuff. So I had prime rib. But I don't know, the menu wasn't that great. The food was good. I mean, it was acceptable. It was good, but not up to the Whately Inn. The Eat Greatly at the Whately. That Whately is just a great place.
Wow, the place has grown up. That's amazing. 5,000 square feet, though, just for 2 people, that seems a lot.
Oh, no. Not 2 people. 5, 6, 7 people. 7.
Oh, the combined family?
Yeah, she has 5 kids.
Oh, well,
he took that on. He took her on with 5 kids?
No, he took her on with 3 kids, and he made 2 of his own.
Oh, they've been together for a while.
Yeah, that's he was going with her basically when I was going with her.
Oh, I see.
I went out with her for about a year, and she just knew I wasn't going to take her on with her 3 kids, and they were those kids were from hell. Believe me, they were the kids from hell.
So he's okay with you and her going for dinner or something?
Yeah, he's no problem. Yeah, he doesn't have any issue at all. He knows me well, and he has no problem at all. In all honesty, I think he's happy.
Oh, man. I'm giving a moment of silence for the poor guy right now.
No kidding.
Well, because I asked her if she could go. She said, last weekend I almost drove to the Lobster Pot. That's it, in Provincetown. And I said, why didn't you? She goes, oh, well, I really came close to going, but, I would have had to go by myself. So I said, well, why didn't you call me? I mean, my God, call me. I'll go with you. She said, yeah, you would have really gone with me? And I said, sure. So she said, well, but we weren't going to stay overnight. It's 3 hours, 3 hours out, 3 hours back. She said, I just felt like going to the Lobster Pot. I said, hell, I would go with you. I said, well, why not stay overnight? Would John let you stay overnight? She goes, yeah, I'm sure he would. I'm sure he would. So, that's the way it goes.
I haven't had lobster. I'm so much I want to have lobster. I've had it once, I guess, in my whole life, so I want to have some more.
Well, then I suggest we go to P-Town and have lobster at the Lobster Pot, because that's the best lobster you're ever going to get. And it is just incredible. And if you don't want to go to P-Town, go to the Whately Inn and get that lobster, baked lobster Savannah. That is just out of this freaking world.
Well, let's just do it. We'll just put it on the schedule. Obviously, next weekend is out. I got a big summit they put together, but after that, a week or two after that, we'll do it. You get whoever you want to get. I don't, whatever, Joan or whoever, and I'll see if I can't find a date. Her name will probably be Maureen, and then we'll go out there to P-Town or someplace.
Well, you can save a little trip if you don't want to go to Whately. The Union Oyster House is not bad. There's a couple of... You don't have to go all the way to P-Town for a good lobster, though, Ray.
No, we're going to go to the Whately Inn. That's in Whately, Mass, up above Northampton. So that's 3 hours closer.
Maureen's saying that we're going to have to wait till after